So, per tradition, recap of last time. Do you guys remember what happened?
Stuff.
We fought a lava monster. Beat the shit out of it for most of the session, I think, right?
Yep.
We also had a message from the Cloud Giants kind of implying to stay off their turf, that it was above.
And Thrum connected with the mountain.
Again,
metal sort of scene.
Reconnected in a different place. I don't know.
He's just connecting to a different Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
It's been however many years. No one knows the password anymore.
Oh man, is that what Indiana Jones is going to be like in 2,000 years? Indiana Jones and the missing Wi-Fi password?
Bold of you to assume that people will remember what Indiana Jones
Still
is.
played by Harrison Ford because AI.
Yep.
That's
We
sad.
can't enter the building.
No, the remix will keep going, Richard. That's the only thing I am certain of.
Yeah, that's
Just
fair.
let them die.
But yeah,
I'm pretty sure he's AI already.
only for the first 40 minutes of that movie. Anyway, that is the small and large of what happened last session. So, the question for this week is, what neighboring power do you believe is currently the greatest threat?
Might need you. Neighboring power. Gotcha. Not
Yeah,
talking about the
Drow.
houses. Okay.
And if the drow count, then the drow.
Yeah, the drow. Yeah, drow do count.
I don't know
Yeah.
what their nation or whatever is called, but the drow.
I just have the drow written down here, so.
I would say drow as well.
Those monstrous fish that brainwashed us.
Fair enough.
You just plant a seed so that when you drain the lake, it doesn't sound bad.
Hey, it may be bad, but I also have a legit reason, so it could be both.
You know you're going to have an equally sized lake to drain it into.
Not if we burn all the water. Boil it away and let it evaporate into the sky.
Just make a
You're
hole.
underground.
Make a big
it'll
pipe
turn
that pumps it out into the open air outside.
It'll turn it into clouds, and then the clouds will rain back, and you'll still have water in the sunless sea.
This is the conversation Freya's having. She's just explaining the water cycle to the king.
And the amount of needed to evaporate an entire ocean, the amount of power is ridiculous. I don't think it's feasible for just.
Well, then I need to find a wizard that can make a wish.
What if we were to open a gate to the plane of fire?
Freya, why couldn't you come up with that idea?
Plane of air, so.
See, Nolgrim solves problems.
He doesn't say, no, you shouldn't do this. This will upset the ecosystem and cause more problems.
There might also be something in that cursed book of yours.
I'm pretty sure, like, in character, he would have told you all that his plan is to try to get the warmonger people to basically become a navy once we can find an entrance to the Sunless Sea that wasn't just that downstairs one we came through.
Anyways, I got these blue dragon wormlings, so I'm going to leave them down there, and hopefully when they grow up, they'll be able to take care of our aberrant problem. All right.
I still need an answer from Taskell and Thrum.
Well, if it weren't for the evil ancient fish things from not Relila and the dragon, I would say the drow. But both of these exist, and I feel like the dragon's a little bit more pressing of a concern, but definitely the Aboleth are a concern as well.
I had almost the identical answer to Kenneth that I was going to say, but I was going to start with, is it okay to say pretty much everybody that we're not friendly with?
I mean, I was going to say...
The world.
The world.
Just go.
Sorry.
Just go full racist and say the elves that we've had nothing but good interactions with.
Thrum is angry about the elves.
So I wrote down dragon for Taskell because that sounded like you thought it was the most pressing.
Mm.
It can be by a narrow margin if that's what's taken for you guys to decide.
Thrum's going to say everyone else.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to narrow it down to what? That's kind of the question.
So right now we got Drow, we got dragons, we got Corsiconia, we got
Look,
elves, we got
Giants.
the
Giants.
question was, what's the most pressing or the most dangerous?
The biggest threat.
I've got to go with Drow. Man, that's been going on for a long time. That one dragon can die. Richard's going to exterminate the Aboleths, but Drow just live on.
All right. So let me get us set up here. So, keeping with the tradition of at the start of the session, I give you guys more handouts. Cope, I have a handout for you for your new form that you unlocked last time, called Pyroclastic Avatar form. You should be able to see that handout now. If it didn't pop up for you, it's in Boons.
I got it.
All right. And additionally, while this is for everyone, this is probably more of a Loki thing because he's the general. So I got some handouts that have got stats for your military units on them.
All right.
So I'll just quickly show all players these. So you got your levy units, your basic units, your elite units, and finally your special forces.
And are these based off of the level of the academy, or is this just the forces that
These are just your options of stuff you can build. You currently only have 100 or 200 dwarf defenders and 100 dwarf quarrelers.
Okay.
How your army and your upkeep works is you can have for every. Okay, let me try to phrase this correctly. You know how you have a D4 in your kingdom's might right now. So that means you can have 4 units, whatever they are, and that will be 1 increase to the budget. That makes sense?
Repeat that one more time.
Okay. I'll do this as I'm moving over. You've got a D4 in your kingdom's might.
Okay.
So you can have 4 military units per 1 budget.
Yep. I got you now. Yep, I got you now.
Rounded up. So if you get 5 units, you're still going to be paying 2, so you might as well go to 8. So
Okay.
currently you have 3 units, so I'm letting that be 0 upkeep, but at any time you could build a 4th one and bring that up to 1. The higher your might is, the bigger army you can have without needing to spend as much money.
Okay. And does it matter, like, so if I cap 4 units, can I have 4 of any, or is that also?
4 of any of the ones that I built there. You'll notice each of the handouts, they say like basic units 2d4. That is going to be the difficulty to train one of them.
Okay.
With levy units, which are just your dwarven miners, being you just need to declare an action, but then you can recruit as many as you want.
Okay. All right. Good to know.
But we come back to you guys at the top of the season. Last time, Fergus just got the news about the giant rock falling from the sky.
Yeah, that's going to be fun to deal with.
Is that going to be a delegation we have to send?
I feel like we should just like find someone that knows giant runes and just like lay out a bunch of rocks on the top of the mountain that says trade ?
Fine.
Like, does would any of us be able to roll like any kind of knowledge about what cloud giants are generally like, or anything that's rumored to what they do like? So if we have so we have like kind of an idea of what we might be able to trade with them.
I mean, the biggest issue if they do on the sky, how do you set up a trade route?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if if they just don't want us to access that area. So here's my thinking. I don't know how they are, but I know there are some giants that just are obsessed with like their own culture and making things look nice and craft things really well. If they're upset with us using that pathway, I was thinking maybe if they are the kind of giants that just want things to look nice, that we can set up the pathway to look really good, so they can overlook and look down, and not be like, oh, there's someone traveling through our territory. Be like, oh, look at that upkeep of the territory that we technically own. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because I know like fire giants are really proud of what they craft. They're very similar to like dwarves. But I don't know what cloud giants would generally be like. So that's why I was wondering if there's anything we might be able to glean about them, if we would know of any roles we could do.
Without needing to roll, because you've got an entire team of royal advisors now. Past interactions, cloud giants tend to be very much focused on things like nobility and hierarchy and like a perceived sense of nobility and ownership.
Mm-hmm.
This can sometimes be good or evil, depending on the giant. The fact that they took the time to throw a big old warning stone rather than just stomping on folks is at least a medium sign.
So it could be worse.
I wonder if they want tribute.
But that's the question of trying to get in communication with them.
Yeah. Or just recognition.
So are they on the top of the mountain, or are they in the like clouds? I'm not entirely sure.
Well, we were on the top of the mountain transporting things over to the other entrance to the Underdark that we've been using, and a rock fell down from the sky. So,
Okay.
So at the most I think we should be able to do is like have some people go up there and organize some rocks that are distinct enough to, if they look down, they can see something that says like in giant talk ? Like, can we talk or something like that? So at least we can get their attention. Parlay, yeah. I'm sure there would be a giant rune that could mean parlay.
Yeah. Thankfully, the Dwarven language and the giant language share a runic alphabet, which is why you were able to read the translation without too much
I
difficulty.
don't think down to clown means what you think it means in giant.
Dwarven's just the lowercase of giant.
But let's get straight into actions for what people are doing. We can just go directly across from left to right, or whatever you guys want to do.
Sure.
So I haven't fully gotten connected. Peace talks with the clan Forgeworn, right?
Yeah, you haven't gotten the delegation set up yet.
So I'll go ahead and try to do that again.
Yeah. Just a quick update since I've been keeping track of this. I've been keeping track of your guys' progress. You got Mountain Temple expansion. Sending out people to explore the Underdark to try to find access to the Sunless Sea, and cleaning out the remainder of the broken down industry that Benjack left.
Can we get a handout to track kind of what we're doing and what?
Yeah, I gave you guys Kingdom Notes.
Yeah,
you guys have that. It's just up to you to update it.
Yep.
So if I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm rolling to do this, it would be my die, my attribute die, any stress die you would decide to put on there, and then anything else I could add, like distinctions. Correct?
Yeah, distinctions and assets and stuff like that. Yes.
Could I use Clan Embermane, because they're known to metal, so they probably have some kind of connections to Clans Forgeworn, at least as a way to like intro to introduction kind of thing?
They are neutral with each other according to my notes here, so you're not getting a benefit, but you're not getting a penalty with them.
Gotcha. So it'll just be the 2 dice, I believe, then.
You traditionally have been using historic capital of these as well.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and use the 3 of those then. And
there we go.
I imagine I'll use the 2 5s.
Mm-hmm. High chance of this succeeding, because according to this, Forge Warren's a 2d6.
Nope.
Wow, double sixes.
They really don't want to talk to me.
Ongoing political totem dance right now.
Yeah. And I was gonna just have Ivy continue examining the looking for an access to the underwater ocean.
Yep.
So that would be
Ivy
a
and then Light. And then
dwarven population.
Yeah, I would say dwarven population could do that since they're Underdark explorers, and then any other assets you think might be relevant.
I was gonna say maybe the Undergate because we have to go through there to get there.
Yeah, the Undergate base of operation.
Okay, so I'll roll those. I'll imagine I'll use that 6 and a 4.
All right.
And you can use the D8 as the kicker if it's needed.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yes,
I still don't know how that works yet. So
it
I'll
is needed, and so since you're not using that one,
okay,
that will actually mean at the end of this season you explore more territory. So I'll just reveal that now.
Okay, so like expands our what she's basically doing is scouting out and expanding the territory to map it out.
Yep.
Gotcha. I mean, that's a good use for the Spy Master at the moment since we don't have anything we need to spy into. So
I certainly think so. Are there any houses we need to start putting tabs on? Or not put tabs on, but do our research for?
Probably, but I'm trying to get access to Forge Warren first.
Yeah.
Because once I can get deal with them, then I was going to start with the next one and probably have her investigate after that.
That works.
I'm not having the best luck
Expand.
with diplomacy right now.
If we decide we need to expand, that cavern there seems to be a nice little forward outpost.
Yeah, because now that you're mapping out places beyond Dammerhall, you can start segmenting this off and assigning territory to the clans to try to strengthen your support with them.
I would advise if anyone doesn't have anything they want to do at the moment, we could probably use somebody to try to get into contact with the Cloud Giants. I'm not sure if anyone has anything, if they have some free time to do anything else, but
I was thinking about building the road, but I think that because
that's kind of the issue with the road is we need to not get attacked while we're building the road.
Yeah. So, I think as my turn, I'll be trying to set up some sort of way to get the Cloud Giants' attention for a potential parlay or a meeting of neighborly nations.
Okay. You're going to do the arranging rocks into a runic sign of negotiation plan?
Unless you have another idea. That was just my first suggestion. Because how else are we going to communicate in the sky?
Yeah, I think I need to think of when I look through the archives and kind of figure out if there's any past relationships Dammerhall had with the Cloud Giants, and
there's been no history of any group known as the Cumulus Dominion.
Okay.
So you're seeing something new here.
Okay. What about just Cloud Giant lore in general?
Nope.
Okay. So then,
other than they exist, and we probably killed one time, but.
Yeah, I think barring any other ideas, that seems like the most direct one. So I could use that for my turn. If we still want to just go in order, and come to me, and I could see, gives me time to think if I could think of anything else to tackle this issue.
Sure, whatever you want to do.
So if we're going down the line, I think it would be Taskell next.
Yeah. I got 5 things picked out because if I remember right, a month ago I was trying to expand the Mountain Temple because they're kind of in the industrial sector of my domain.
Yep.
So I got my own D10, D8 from industry, D4 from the fire temple itself, the D8 from the forge fane, and the D10 from the heart of the mountain.
Yep. And then pick the two that you're adding together and the one that you want to be the effect die before I roll the difficulty, which is
It's
2d6.
like 13 from me and forge fane. And I guess the heart of the mountain D10 effect would be the best.
All right. The managed to bump up the mountain temple, making that a more effective construction. However, as a unfortunate side result there, the other two temples are a little bit slighted that they're not getting the special treatment. So you get a teeny tiny little bit of political stress. Kind of unavoidable considering there's an odd number of them.
Why am I not your favorite?
And rationality and religion seldom mix.
I mean, this is just politics as well, which is possibly worse.
Yes.
All right. I guess that would mean Thrum up next.
What was the wording for the action I took last time? And I apologize, I haven't been tracking it.
It's no problem. You were cleaning out the remaining broken down factories that Bendrak had left.
There's still more, right?
Yeah, it's a difficulty 2d4 for you. So if you succeed, you'll finish it.
Yeah, I'd like to continue with that.
Okay.
Obviously, myself. Does industry apply?
Because it's within the city, I would say industry.
Okay. Feels like a very dwarfy thing to be deconstructing something. Can I ask for volunteers from the dwarf population?
Okay.
That's a negative, right?
I was going to say, I was just going to reiterate this as I do almost every session. The dwarven population distinction doesn't mean that your task involves people, because pretty much all tasks involve people. It just means that it's something that only dwarves are especially good at, like metalworking or digging or mountain exploration. Like, what does them being dwarves bring to the table that they couldn't do if they were human or something like that? It's not about people involved, because this is kingdom action. Everything has people involved.
Gotcha.
So what are you trying to do, Cope?
I was just looking at distinctions to see if they're. I'm recouping the ruins, cleaning them out, dragging out any useful items from them, and just basically making them so they're not places where ne'er-do-wells can hide.
Would that be something that the military could do as a joint action if you want to use the military academy potentially to,
Well, you're taking all the staff and you're putting them in the streets?
I mean, we're patrolling the area too a bit, aren't we? Like,
well, I assume the military academy teaches people. It's not literally.
That's fair. That's fair.
Fortress.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Okay. Okay.
Historic capital, could I? And you're going to chastise me because I'm going to classify this wrong. Could I use the dwarves' pride in restoring their capital to have that?
Yeah, I say that's a fair negotiation.
Okay. Because we got a lot of idle hands, I feel like, and the people we've let in. Dwarves like to be busy. And then I'll just use the Throne's SS. Oops, I rolled. That's MS. We just need another.
I keep telling you.
All together. Thrums. God, why does it have to be this hard?
That's what she said. Anyway, Okay, so I will roll the difficulty here. It's 2d4 plus 1d8 from your low population. So that would be 7. So you succeed. You clean out the last of the factories. You're able to break them down and recycle them. And you gain a single-use temporary asset of excess steel, as you have successfully dismantled the last of Bendrak's factories.
Fantastic.
So I've got at least 2 more seasons in my plans, but is there anything else like cleaning out the factories? I know you mentioned a couple things you thought we'd do, but
Yeah. Yeah, the factories and the ore stockpiles were things that I talked about for the Forge Thane. War Thane establish army policy, the gates, hold warden, establish a law enforcement, dealing with the ongoing adventurers.
So what's in the way of production right now? Is it just people or?
yeah, population's our biggest stress still. So
Okay.
and that's mostly on Fergus to get dwarves to immigrate, since it takes 50 years to breed more dwarves.
Well,
I'm trying, guys. I really am. I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
I mean, that you got a 10.
I had a pretty decent roll.
Yeah, if I hadn't gotten literally a perfect 12.
Could I have my artificers continue to study black iron?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's what I'll do then.
All right, so that'd be your dice, plus industry, plus clan Embermane, and you establish the College of Runework. Should be helpful for there.
Also, I doubt a D4 will swing it one way or the other, but I imagine the Ancestor Temple wants in on that action.
Yep, this is true.
Okay, and I just roll all those dice together?
Yep, now we'll look at the results.
All right. We got 9. And then what attribute is it?
This would, you're researching it, so this would be lore.
Okay, plus 1d6. The stress is for you, right?
Yeah, stress is for me, so don't worry about that. And none of them are being in play right now.
Plus rune work, which is another d6. And where are they? Ancestor Temple, d4. So right now I'm looking at 1d6 plus 2, or 1d8 plus 2d6 plus 1d4.
And you're a D10.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, some of these are on the 0 and some of them are on the 8 for some reason.
Yeah.
Do we have different dice?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just the highest face of that whatever dice it is. Except
D4. Exactly.
Because, pyramid.
Yeah. You and Taskell are D10s. Everyone else is, except for Ivy, is a D8.
So we're really carrying the team.
All right. So it looks like it's going to be 14 most likely. Then you'll probably want to choose your effect die, which, unless you're very confident in a 12, adding 2 6 together, you'll probably choose a 6. So I'll roll the difficulty of 2d12. 17. Man, I've been getting really high rolls on these.
Just really trying to
So
bog us
what?
down there, Gamba.
Well,
Hey,
this
it's
one
the
is
random
supposed to
number
be hard.
generator.
Yeah.
Sure, get defensive now.
This one is supposed to be hard. Even if he'd succeeded, it would have gone down by like a quarter.
I just
3
enjoy
sides.
tormenting Gamba.
Mm-hmm. Listen, you want to do Kingdom Building, man?
No, I'm
you
good.
You want to swap chairs?
I'm okay.
You'll have to drive a really long way to get my chair. That's unrelated. Do you want to swap chairs?
I really need some lumbar support.
Yeah, research into breaking down the black iron golems is ongoing. Or, I guess, research into their nature for breaking down. Because you could try to, I guess, if you don't care about any of the souls perhaps within there, you could just start doing the same process that Fergus discovered on an industrial scale if you just wanted to destroy the army. But there was some talk of whether or not there were still dwarven souls trapped in there, and if that would be destroying them.
Yeah, that might cause some stress.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, if the soul is unsalvageable, the omelet is made, and the army is just sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, hear me out. We have all those souls. What if we get a druid to reincarnate all the souls? Then we have a whole new army of old dwarves that were, previously dead, but then have a second chance at life.
I guess that bears a question. What you know that like pink slime that is made that chicken nuggets are made from, like
Mhm.
with fast food and all that stuff? What happens if you were to cast Animate Dead on that?
Horror.
Yes.
I mean, what's going to happen if you animate dead on a chicken nugget in general?
Exactly. So I'm pretty
It's going
sure
to get up and be like, hello, my baby. Hello, my dog.
I'm kind of envisioning the souls that go into the metal there is kind of all processed like the chicken
Mhm.
nuggets. It is not gonna be pretty.
Yeah, that was a joke I loved from the movie The Kid Who Would Be King. It was like a modern day King Arthur thing where Merlin from the medieval ages puts himself in stasis to come to the modern day, and he was explaining to them the reason why he's drinking nonstop milkshakes and eating fried chickens is because to replenish his magical powers, he has to consume a magical potion made of ground up animal bones and insects. Thankfully, common fast food has all this.
That's pretty good.
Like, well, that's a solution. But yes, research is ongoing. That just leaves Nolgrim.
All right. So I think on top of just kind of leaving the runic message, I would like to offer have the artisans create some sort of token of symbolic unity. Kind of let the sculpture kind of communicate. The mountain and the clouds wish to form a relationship. So kind of a gift among the message to sweeten the pot. Would I be able to use? Oh, I don't know. Feel like that'd either be industry or commerce, depending on. I mean, because it is about crafting, more of an artistic rather than a.
I would say commerce or influence, and they're both the D6.
Okay. I think I would go with influence. Let's see. Would this sort of crafting be something for the dwarf population? Since I'm also considering using would this be something I could use the material from the excess ore to forge if everybody's okay with me using that resource?
Yeah. I imagine it'd be a good idea because we want it to stand out, and just using
Yeah.
normal stone, it might not be visible enough.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see, anything else? I think I'm gonna be good with that. Okay. I'll do that. Let me see.
I like our little text chat going on. Listen, that would make for some interesting babies.
Wasn't
Just
that a
comes
joke?
out a normal human,
Wasn't that a joke from the show Enchanted?
possibly.
Probably.
The tiny gnome elf and the giant. They're like, presenting him and his date. Brace thine selves for the inevitable mental images.
Oh, you're talking about the Disenchantment show?
Yeah, the disenchanted. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a joke from there.
I love that. Brace yourself for the inevitable mental images.
Didn't they just finish that show?
Yeah, I think so. All right.
So that'll be a 6 and a 4, so 10 with a D8 kicker.
Yep. So you definitely succeed in your project all in one go.
Heck yeah.
You do not know if there's any results in the immediate short term after completing it. So
Okay, but
Yeah.
at least a message has been sent and hopefully
right.
received. Yeah, and if you don't mind updating the XSR, because I can't.
Yep. All right. And that's everyone. So we clock over to season 6, if my count is correct.
Year 2, season 2.
Soon we'll get a movie.
If you don't mind, I'm going to do it in reverse order. Do Ivy's roll first,
Sure.
and then do mine afterwards. I'm doing the same thing for both, so
Is she still searching north?
yeah.
Okay.
So I guess I'll be using the 2 4s.
Okay. So then, inflation stress. No, that's 3 dice
I
added
know.
together.
It's 3 dice added together.
But I think it
still
still
a 10.
fails. Yeah.
Yeah, it is 11, so you were very close, but
The dice are just like spiking Richard's rolls out of the Coliseum tonight.
Yeah.
Like, you think you rolled well? Ha!
And here's the one for Fergus, still trying to communicate with the same people.
mm-hmm.
Oh, those are some bad rolls. So I guess I'll be having a 9.
And I rolled a
Hey.
5. So let's
You got a
see.
D8 kicker.
Yeah. So that's enough to complete the overtures of diplomacy. You will
Clan
be
Forge one.
Yep, you'll be getting a emissary arriving the end of next season.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's almost like travel time's a thing. I'm
All right.
mildly curious what's in this quadrant. It's tantalizing.
Can't anyone teleport by now?
Only one of us.
Oh, we need to put you to work.
You're talking to the king. I'm the only one that can teleport.
No,
How dare you make me work?
Let's assume it was Nolgrim.
Off with his feet.
I'm not a monster. I can't. Chopping his head off will kill him. Jesus.
All right, who's next?
I guess I'll be up next. Like the plan was upgrading the fire temple next. I imagine either way political stress will come into it, but that begs the question of if having the mountain temple build stuff for it would help or hurt more. Because I'm using the fire temple's labor on it either way, but but that brings me up to 6 dice in the pool. But only 3 matter. Typing out the counter rule.
Yep.
Okay. So just go ahead and roll it.
Go ahead and roll.
So that is a 17 with industry and Heart of the Mountain.
Nice. And then you're probably going to use yourself as a D10. You are using the Mountain Temple as well. Interesting.
Yeah, I accidentally labeled them Fire Temple last roll, but yeah, they're the ones.
Mm-hmm.
They are, like I said, the industry arm of our religion. So
let's see. A small amount of civic
How
stress.
many religions have an industry arm? I can only think of like Scientology.
yeah, they have a navy too.
Catholicism used to.
Allegedly, I heard that they're what do they call it? Sea land or whatever the Scientologists call it. I heard that it's like permanently docked now.
Probably.
All right. So that is a 15. So you succeed, and your D10 kicker is enough to bring it down.
Woo.
So you are able to boost up the Fire Temple to a D6. However, this will increase your political stress by 2 steps.
Mm.
As Taskell is causing everyone to start there's a big stink about not just the Temple of the Ancestors, which has been lately in the past couple centuries the most neglected since the ancestors went silent for a while. So they're pretty butthurt about being the last in the line for additional attention. But then getting followers of Father Mountain to assist in work in the shrines of Mother Fire as a intended slight of saying that the craftsmanship of the fire worshippers are somehow inferior to that of the mountain, which then implies a pseudo scandalized because everyone knows you are a cleric yourself of Father Mountain. So everyone's like, so it's favoritism is what it is.
No, it's nepotism. It's different.
Yeah. Now there's a secondary
That's
rumor
a subset.
going. There's a subset rumor going around as well that you're perhaps of the religious tradition of the Unionist, where you say that Mother Fire and Father Mountain are married couples, so therefore their worship should be unified. And there's a lot of people on all sides against that.
Oh no, heaven forbid they have a relationship.
Oh no, they do have a relationship. They just don't want the temples merged for political reasons. So,
yay, politics.
Then they have to file.
Well, what if the
joint
gods get a
taxes.
divorce?
So Fergus, you start getting just a bunch of concerned citizens, aka a priest letters at your hearings and stuff now about the church situation increasing political stress.
Occasionally the party walked into me being talked down to from the guy who does the commerce as I'm writing a letter about telling them the difference between their god and the human gods and how similar they are. And he's like, no, you don't want to do this. Like, okay. And then just tell Taskell to handle it.
Most recent version of that one Simpsons meme of steamed clams was these gods are awfully similar to the ones we have in Greece. No, purely original gods, ancient Etruscan recipe.
So that's what's going on with those temples.
That's interesting because I'm Etruscan. No, north.
What is Thrum doing?
So, are these habitable at this point?
They have been mapped, but not like in-depth explored. You could start a construction project out there if you can get the go-ahead from His Majesty and everything like that.
Yeah. But I don't want these clans that you invite in to walk into shit and squalor down there. I'd like to do a more thorough cleanup and just get it back to the point where it's not an
Well, I
insult
don't think
to
we
them.
have anything built in there to begin with.
Yeah.
Those
Weren't there old homes?
No,
Those are in that's in Dammerhall.
That's right here. These are just literally untamed caverns, wilderness.
Oh, I totally misunderstood that.
So
Okay.
if they gain access to them, it's up to them to build those.
Sure.
Mhm.
Within Dammerhall, do we still have floors / neighborhoods that are in disrepair that need to be cleaned up?
Not anything that would require kingdom level action at this point.
All right. Any suggestions?
How goes the adventure issue?
Yes.
There's that, and then we do eventually need to start up mining again, so we can actually build up some money because we're still, I think, blowing through our budget pretty fast.
I think that's kind of a thing that's going on. Like,
Yeah,
we
I
could
think it's kind of
direct to
implied that we still
expand
have.
some lines.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
still
just
got
wasn't
base
sure.
economy going, but I
Yeah.
think it could still be good to prepare for some expansion.
Fergus, what do you suggest we do with these adventurers? We can hunt them and kill them.
And there's also the magic castle as well.
Yeah.
We may want
We're
to check
just
that
ignoring that for now.
I think-
We do need to deal with that, but I've been
I
leaving.
think-
Like, listen, last time I dealt with him, I got turned into some. I think I was a toad.
Mhm.
One of you can talk to him this time. Tell him he either needs to move or his rent is due.
That sounds like a job for the hold warden.
Just picturing just like one lone tapestry on a stick, like nothing to see beyond this point.
Also, we could kill two birds with one stone. We couldn't issue a statement that anyone who is the adventurers / looters, tell them that they will not face repercussions if they want to investigate the tower. That'll kind of deal with both at the same time.
Well, we should probably first verify that that is, in fact, I blank on his name. Caliburb in the tower. It seems most likely, but he is an agent of chaos, so you never know what's actually in there until you look.
Does it look like a mushroom?
It does not.
I think wasn't it not a tower? It was a mansion, wasn't it?
It was a castle of human construction. It was like a tower with a keep section on the bottom and then a wall around it with like a courtyard.
Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely not Valecroft Manor where the vampire
This
was.
doesn't sound like a kingdom action to me. Am I
I
wrong?
mean, it could be.
It could be or it could not be. It's whatever you want to do.
Depends how much force you want to put behind it.
I mean, if you want to just go to his door and knock on it and be like, "Hey, housekeeping."
That's true.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll
So Thrum, you're just gonna head over there to the weird magic castle yourself?
No, that sounds like a terrible idea. I was going to take. I don't know. Do we want to go as a group?
No,
I'm
not
gonna
opposed to it.
act in my kingly fashion and make y'all do it. I'm
There's
just
a
gonna
big
sit here on
freaking
my
castle.
throne.
There's a big castle in the middle of your kingdom. I think we need to figure it out. Pretty big intrusion.
We'll throw my task that to you.
All right. Everybody sharpen your knives.
This can only end well.
You know, on second thought, Nolgrim, I task it to you and Freya.
What?
I can't
I'll do what
trust
I
Throm.
can.
Oh, you can trust me. You know exactly what I'll do.
You don't know what I'll do.
That's not as reassuring as you seem to think it is.
Let's not get bogged down in semantics.
Yeah, so Nolgrim will be part of the group that goes.
All right.
Grum will go.
All right. Let me.
We should take a bunch of military too.
Okay, that is
might be
turning
saying the
into-
wrong. That would
Yeah, that is
be saying
definitely
the wrong
turning into a
message.
kingdom action.
I
Action
haven't
that we're gonna
stormed a
organize.
castle in years.
We're on year 2, right?
Yeah, middle of year
So, Cope, are you turning it into an action or not? You seem
I mean,
undecided.
I feel like we should walk up there and investigate what the hell it is.
That's what I'm saying, and that's what I think we're doing.
I'm gonna go with Loki.
I'll just say I'll go with them too after I hear Thrum talking about getting the military involved. Like last time we needed fireballs throughout the entire fucking city.
Ouch.
Yeah, I'm not gonna roll the 2d12. I mean, I guess I could just in case I get double ones.
Yeah.
It could happen.
No.
Unlikely as it is.
Mm. All right, so we got His Majesty
Thrum
Thrum.
and Milgram.
Nulgrim. Is Nulgrim in the city this season, or is he out attending to the giant signpost he left on top of mountains?
Probably still in town because the biggest portion is also being crafted in the city.
Yep,
before
makes
being
sense.
relocated.
Yeah, it is done by now. I just don't know if you were just hanging around there, just verifying.
Yeah. Well, wait, no, that was last season though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I haven't done anything this season yet, but
Mhm.
so yeah, no, I'm in the city.
So you guys go up to this castle. There is clouds around its top tower, and strapped to the side by what looks like iron chains is what looks like a one-masted ship that's just tied, hanging to the side of the side of the tower. It's not like floating or anything. It's literally just a wooden boat tied to the side of the tower.
Is there a name or anything on the boat?
No, not from this distance.
It's a liab.
Okay.
I think it says batshit crazy.
And before you is the iron portcullis of the gatehouse of the wall surrounding this tower.
Wait, there's a gate surrounding the tower? Oh, shit. Okay.
There's like a
Yes.
tower with a little keep, and then there's a section of walls around it that create a little courtyard.
Okay.
No
Okay.
guards.
No guards that you can see. Here, I'll just quickly do this to make it.
Walk up
crystal-
and see if it's open.
All right, so I'll just do this to make it crystal clear as possible. Central tower. Then it's got like a little keep section underneath it that the tower pops out of. And then there's walls around it, like so.
Got it.
About how much
go
space
up-
does this take up? The perimeter of the wall, I guess.
The perimeter. Okay, hold on. Let me look up
Like, is it full castle size keep or?
No, it's smaller than that. I need to look this up real quick because I do have it down here somewhere.
Do we have a way of contacting Caliber? Did he leave us like his phone number or anything?
I don't believe so.
Reach out whenever you need help.
He gave us a nut, but that's not really going to help us anything.
Whatever you
The
do,
fact
don't
that
miss
the
that
walls are unprotected makes me think it's probably him.
You could always say his name 3 times.
I think only you can do that.
Okay,
I
yeah.
don't even know
So
if it still works.
the inner keep is 120 feet on each side. The central tower is 20. So yeah, it would be the central tower is then 40 feet in diameter, and then goes up a good 80 feet tall from the keep,
Okay.
and then the walls extend beyond that. So
Yeah. I say we just teleport onto the other side of the portcullis and head in.
Feel like it's only nice to knock. Last
Alright.
time we barged in on a wizard, it went all right, but it was off to a bit of a rocky start. Is there like any sort of like one of those pull like doorbells or
you can just
door
knock
knockers.
on the iron bars of the portcullis.
Okay, I'll give that a shot. See if that sends a message.
Just take my axe and rattle it against the bars.
There you go.
Ding, 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 ding.
Actually, that's pretty good.
It is silent for a moment, and then you hear the grinding of chains as the portcullis lifts.
Well,
Go in.
in we go.
You walk through the brief tunnel through the gatehouse, past all the arrow slits, which seem to be oozing a white substance of some sort.
Ew.
Would
No
we be able to
question.
get close enough to just kind of examine it?
Sure, give me a investigation.
Welcome to the Mayo Tower.
Investigation. 22.
It appears to be 2-week-old custard.
So that probably smells pretty good.
Definitely him then.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. Well, I don't know. Yeah.
You enter. You exit the brief gatehouse walkway, and you enter into a courtyard. There's a set of large wooden double doors down a pathway, but this entire area is covered in snow as you hear thunder rumble in the strange clouds about the tower above you. The snowy courtyard is devoid of any sort of trees or gardens, but there is a vast amount of snowmen. On the left side, the snowmen seem to be arranged in some sort of debauched party bacchanal, perhaps orgy. But on the other side, the snowmen seem to be arranged in what can only be described as a populist uprising.
Okay, that is not a carrot nose.
I think I've seen enough. We probably know who's here, and Fergus remembers the last time what happened when we walked into his house.
We got the ability to banish a tyrant.
You might
Well,
get
he
turned
turned
into
into
one
a
of these
frog.
snowmen.
He got better.
He got better.
I mean, we know who it is. Do we want to try to see if we can just get rid of him now, or do we want to subject people to this other than
I
us?
mean, he's not hurting anything. He never really leaves his walls.
Are we
There's
sure about that?
custard everywhere.
Well, you know what a man does within his own walls is right.
I point at it. It's literally oozing out of his walls.
Still up on his walls. All right, so what's your plan, Fergus? You want to evict this guy? Tell him he has to leave because his paint job isn't good enough?
Wait, are you there with
I'm-
us, Freya?
Yeah, Fergus told
Okay.
me to go.
Okay.
So here's my idea. So when she says his name 3 times, he appeared. So next time we all have to travel out somewhere and I use the axe to teleport us, I wait until we're about to teleport. We say his name 3 times to teleport him wherever we go, and then we just get the fuck out of there as soon as he arrives.
Are we
Then it's
sure?
someone else's
that-
problem now.
What was that? Something she was only able to use once?
Are
I don't know,
you are you detecting magic on this area, Freya?
Yes.
The castle walls themselves radiate a very faint sense of conjuration magic. You're high enough and skilled enough to know that this most likely means that the entire castle itself was summoned and created by a singular spell. The biggest source of magic you're getting is that there is an extremely powerful sense of magic coming from the other side of the double wooden doors.
There's something very magical behind those.
Caliber?
Caliburb, are you behind the door?
And also conjuration. I just had to quickly check the school.
He just like when
No.
he says that, Fergus just calls out that. Are you behind the door?
There's no response.
Caliburb, can you hear us? We're your friends.
Lightning rails through the
We
clouds.
brought plum pudding.
No, go up and knock on the wooden door, or at least see if it opens. It seems a little redundant to knock twice, but you know.
Hollow ka-thunk, ka-thunk. Then nothing happens.
Does the door open? Like, am I
It's-
able to open the door?
It's unlocked. You can pull it open.
No. Open the door. Slowly. Like,
Yep.
All right, is there
Inside.
magic flying around?
I stand like 30 feet to the left of him so that I'm out of the way of whatever's going to shoot out at him.
You open up the doors, and inside is a hallway. Running down the center of this cobblestone hallway is a red rug. The hallway is very long, longer than should be able to fit into the building, and about halfway through it begins twisting. All along both sides of the hallway are wooden doors, like the one that you just opened, but single. In between each door is a set of ever-burning torches that are crackling. And you get the distinct whiff of ozone, like electricity filling the air.
Don't want to go in there.
I would say this is where our investigation ends.
Sure. What are we going to do about this? I mean, we've already knocked. We're already starting to enter his house. He knows we're here. Be rude to not greet the person that helped us.
You're an idiot.
I'm trying to be diplomatic here.
All I know is this thing's got to be a booby trap to hell. Can I do a perception?
Sure.
Just thinking of what all we went through in the last time.
But to be fair, the last time we didn't have the same, invitation in.
Wait, we don't have an invitation. We don't even know who lives here for sure. We're just assuming by the crazy shit all over the place.
They opened the door for us.
So with that 21 perception thrum, without needing to walk in and look at the hallway, as I said, you can tell that the hallway is much longer than what should be in a 120 foot by 120 foot building. You might not know everything about magic, but you do know that portals to other semi-dimensional spaces do exist. So you believe walking through that door is taking you to what we as players would know as a demi-plane.
He pushes Nilgrim.
Won't need to push hard. Once you put your hand on my pauldron or whatever, he's already like, all right, I'm walking in and staying on the carpet. Or staying on that red carpet, yeah.
As you walk in, I'm gonna cast Protection from Energy Lightning on you.
Appreciated. And if he's gonna look back at the others and just, are you coming or are you staying out there?
You just tell us what you see.
Okay. I'm gonna walk down the hallway.
At what point does he disappear?
Oh no, he remains in full sight the entire time as you walk down the hallway. The interesting thing, Nilgrim, is you don't notice that the hallway begins twisting after a while. The rest of you walk as Nilgrim slowly begins to walk up the side of the wall and then the ceilings as gravity is shifting with the hallway.
Maybe we should tie a rope to him or something.
I think this is a terrible idea.
As you're walking down the hallway around where you would be all the way on the ceiling there, Nilgrim, a door to your left begins to rattle.
Like just rattle?
Yeah, almost like someone's struggling with a doorknob.
Hello? Someone there?
It stops rattling.
Nilgrim's gonna keep following the rug.
Oh no, he's MC ushering away.
Probably around this point, he's just becoming a speck to all of you in the door's distance.
All right, are we going?
We can't let him die again.
Yeah, here, I pull out a little bit of rope. Everybody grab a hold.
Listen, he already got rid of his get out of dead free card. I don't think he's gonna get another one. We all get one. Ain't that right, Thrum?
Yeah.
Yeah, we follow him in.
Mm-hmm. Nilgrim, you're still ahead.
Rope at one end.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm just asking what Thrum is doing with the ropes. Are we like tying it off at one end and then?
I was saying I'll just pull out, just pull out 10 feet of rope and I'll hold on to the front lead the rest of the pack and just grab on so that we're all in like a kindergartner line.
Okay.
As you're walking with the group there, ahead of the group there, Nulgrim, why don't you give me another investigation?
Okay. That's not good.
Okay.
Sometimes you roll a 1.
As you are walking, you're looking back and forth the doors. You take a step forward, and there's a sharp cracking sound, like you stepped on glass.
Mhm.
And you look down, and your right foot seems to have cracked the floor like glass and has sunk in a little bit. And you hear the clink, clink, clink as the crack is spreading across the floor.
Gonna backtrack and just kind of, I'm backing up, trying
You
to
put
keep ahead of the cracking.
Your other foot back, and it cracks again. Sorry, this is the natural one.
Mhm.
And the floor shatters beneath you, sending you tumbling into a dark void, broken
Can I
glass.
cast fly?
Sure.
Okay. Am I falling, or like, is it reality breaks around me, or is it just the ground that falls beneath me?
The ground falls beneath you, and then
Okay.
it's just in a vast black space.
Okay, I'm gonna cast fly to avoid falling in.
Mm-hmm. You go in there a little bit, and you see the broken glass shards that once looked like the floor now look like shards of silver mirrors that are hanging in the space. And as you look into the mirrors, you see your own reflection, and they are reflections of yourself throughout various periods of your life. Childhood, a ghost, covered in the blood of the blue ghost throughout your adventure. All reflections of yourself from the past, the various other Nulgrims that have existed throughout your life.
Can I do a knowledge arcana to figure out what sort of space I'm in?
Yeah.
$14.
Much like with Thrum's perception, you believe that you have entered into a demiplane. If this is created by Caliburb, he decides the space and the physics of the demiplane. We guys out of character are familiar. It's not quite he's not God here, but things are gonna get interesting. And
oh no, you entered the demiplane of therapy.
And this castle has been here for a year, almost a year and a half. So who knows what has been filled in here at this time.
I think we're going to. So am I still in the space, or is this new? So I'm in a demiplane separate from the hallway now?
You don't know that with a 14.
Okay. But can I see anything beyond the shards around me?
If you look way down, you see a tiny speck of flickering torchlight down in the darkness.
Okay. I'll come back to that. I'm at this point, I think I'm going to focus just on the shards and just kind of see if there's anything I could learn from that, or just also perhaps be a little reminiscent. But you said it's basically all from the journey of through the Underdark?
Also your past before that as well.
Okay.
And it's just reflections of yourself, so they still mirror your movement. I would say it's about here that everyone else manages to catch up. You've absolutely run out of rope by now, by the way.
I think we're just holding it between us, not at the door.
Okay. Yeah, then you're fine.
Yeah, we're just making it so we don't get separated from each other.
You guys catch up, and you find the giant broken glass hole in the floor.
I shout down it, no, Grim.
Nulgrim, you look up. You're about 4 feet away from that hole.
Oh, okay. I'm good. Follow the voice and
I guess it
fly
doesn't
up.
echo then.
Oh, it absolutely echoes, but he's just right there. The space is vast below him, but he cast fly, so he was able to catch himself.
Thrum's just gonna speak out. Caliburb, is this your home? Did we accidentally break your floor?
Still nothing.
Sir, if he died and left this castle here for us to deal with, I'm gonna be pissed.
Well, I mean, do we want to say his name 3 times just to check?
Go
Yep.
for it.
All right, I go Caliburb, Caliburb, Caliburb.
Nothing happens.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
We can either keep exploring this place, or we can just retreat for now and try again later.
Did he have something cast on me that whole time? I don't want to think
Get
about
out
it.
of here.
I'll abstain
Leave.
from my vote. I'll let you guys decide.
So you leave. You let sleeping dogs lie.
Oh,
Oh God, he didn't just have an arcane eye on me that whole time, did he?
Maybe.
I'm
That
not
seems like a
sure.
lawsuit in progress.
Is it like that joke from Borderlands 2 with Scooter? Where it's like, is it weird that I can see what you see? You know I can see you in the bathroom, right? Is that weird? I mean, it's like I'm spying on you out of friendship.
I mean, I guess he did the nut crack thing. I'm just gonna tell myself it's the same as that.
Yeah, it's better to make it so you can actually sleep at night.
But I don't think this is something that's just going to go away. And at the very least, I think it would be helpful to figure out what is going on here. So
I mean, what do? It's a piece of wacky real estate.
I will say when
Pitch
we go
that to HG Network, wacky real estate.
when we do go to leave, I do have some chalk still. I'm gonna just write like a weirdly large amount of money that he owes us for rent, and just like write it on the inside of the door with chalk before we leave.
Just nail it to his door.
No, just chalk. Just like write it on the back of the door before we leave. So when we close the door, if he walks down the hallway, he'll see it.
you wouldn't have come up with something with state's letterhead on it already to deliver?
You know, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Next time, I'll have to do that next time.
P.S. P.S. The HOA says your fence is too tall.
Oh God, no! HOAs are banned in this dwarven society.
Amen.
I don't know. If we
God.
force one around the tower, it might solve the problem.
No, then we'll have the problem of the HOAs involved.
Luckily, the only people I know who own their house do not live in places with HOAs. I can't imagine some other
I barely
asshole
know
telling
anybody
you-
who has ever had to deal with it, but they're always bad.
They're always bad. Like it totally defeats all the arguments everyone's ever made to me about owning a house. Because like at least when my apartment complex tells me to do something, I'm like, well, I am renting. I guess that makes sense. you
I mean, I
know?
guess it's theirs.
Yeah, but when it's like, so you own this house free and clear. You own the property. You don't do payments on it.
But this other asshole gets to tell you what to do because they live close?
Yeah,
And if you don't follow through, they make you sell your house.
and that's not communism.
And most of them also require like monthly dues
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
to
fucking
support
bullshit.
themselves.
And most of the time, they're laundering the money to do other shit than what they're saying they're using it for.
God,
Yeah.
what a fucking racket. How do I get in on that?
Right? Step 1, own a house.
Well, never going to happen for me.
Yeah, same.
Well, just build a community.
That requires talking to people, and I'm not good at that.
No,
I
like,
don't know.
literally
The
go out
last
and build
time
multiple
I went to
houses,
build a
create
community, I
HOA,
ended up
so-
on a weird compound.
The FBI got involved.
Yeah. This guy, he was fucking my wife. It was really bad.
He was in my room, fucking my wife.
Well, that's what all cults come back to. That's my theory.
HOAs.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
that's cult like, yeah.
Yeah,
It's cult. It's cult adjacent.
it tracks.
As much as I enjoy taking a hot shit on HOAs, what's the game plan from here?
Let's get out of here.
I think we're
Yeah,
go
we're
try to
done. We're
figure it
leaving.
out.
Yep.
Thrum, decide your state actions.
I still have to do a state action.
I mean, you can always choose to pass. I'm not going to enforce it. You could take a.
No,
couple
what can we
minutes off.
do? What do we want to do about the adventurers? Fergus, do you want me to hunt them down? Do you want me to have
Just
them
arrest them.
register?
We could also try to turn it around
Arrest
and
them
say
and
that we're
fine them.
offering money to anyone who turns in anything of dwarven heritage that they
Yes,
find.
I like that, but only if they've registered.
Yeah,
So
I mean that's
you're
a
just-
good idea. A registered looting.
Yep.
An adventurers association, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There we
I
go.
mean, honestly, you can probably start
Actually,
guilds
that's-
of all different sorts: merchant guilds, trades guilds.
Actually,
Yeah, I
yeah.
would start-
I think Adventures Guild could be pretty good for you,
Yeah,
Thrum, if
yeah,
you want to
start
get
us-
that
Start,
started.
start a trades, not trades, a guilds hall or something that everyone can register under certain guilds, and that way we can also get dues from them as well as monitor what's going on.
And potentially earn a die that we can activate. So I'm going to create a adventurers guild hall.
All right.
Yes.
I'm going to say this is going to be a commerce role, as this is arranging the finances to start this kind of organization.
All right.
I imagine it will not be dwarven population before anyone asks.
Yep. No dwarven population here.
Oh no, this is gonna be like that prank where they were in like some town in Alabama and talking about building a mosque, like the second largest mosque in the world or whatever.
Mm.
You guys ever seen that video? That's what this is like. Dwarves don't want it at all.
Trying to think if there's anything we can leverage towards this, but
Thrum's
Mhm.
security force could probably be a part of it.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they basically do whatever I tell them to.
They could also
You
be
want
hired
to
as
build a
like
what?
they could also be initially used as like trainers for people who don't know what they're doing, and be like, "Hey, this is the stuff you're looking for. This is the stuff to watch out for," and basically
Well,
to give a
Think
quick
also-
tutoring session.
you could let
Also,
them.
they're the government, so you got to
Yeah,
come
they're
in and
the
sign up with them, pay your
Yeah,
dues.
someone needs to run the desks.
So how
Yeah.
does the historic capital work? The historic capital die.
We leverage it for like things that like it's influential to have our capital that we are in.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're founding a bureaucratic institution. I don't think how the history of your city.
Okay, that's fair. I wasn't sure if that was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's
So,
pretty much it. Thrum's
am I-
people's Thrum
Yeah,
and
the people,
commerce.
the commerce, and Thrum.
Am I correct in seeing that Thrum is the first person to found an explicitly non-dwarven organization?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 second, I'll be right back.
I mean, there can be dwarves.
Fergus would be so proud of you.
Yeah,
Alright.
but it's not completely made up of dwarves in concept.
Once you sign up, you get to wear this badge denoting that you have registered.
Oh no.
It's a gold star.
No!
Come
I
on.
knew you were
Coach.
going
Come
there.
on, man.
You're
No.
trying too hard
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened? What did I miss?
I'm like,
He
I
was
knew
trying
exactly
to
what
make
was going.
another Nazi joke.
okay.
Yeah.
Either
and then
that
we
or a
let-
sheriff deputy badge.
And then we let the adventurers in and they become honorary dwarves.
Well, we don't want them to have paperwork, but there would be maybe it'd be a good thing for them to have some kind of outward note that they have registered, so we don't harass them.
I mean, just some kind of paperwork to say that, hey,
Yeah,
this is
I think-
legit. We're not doing it illegally.
We're literally not going to search people and say, "Show me your papers."
Okay, so
I'm trying hard.
yes, okay. Bring it back.
Like just our little whatever our family faceplate pin is, or family emblem is, they get a little pin that they can just put on their
Produce.
lapel or shoulder or something.
All
Like
right.
literally, like just a little pin.
Okay, so you succeeded your roll. By the looks of it, you have an effect die of 8 of a d8, which was more than enough to finish it off, as well as the fact that I was going to use your effect die to determine how successful this organization was, aka the strength of the asset. So, against all odds and all conceivable logic, Thrum organizes an amazingly effective Adventurers Guild organization, leveraging his own experiences doing spelunking and searching for Dammerhall. It is an amazing D8 strength asset.
Nice.
Very nice.
Honestly, that'd be a good thing to leverage towards exploring too.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay, Adventurers Guild solved. Give them a little reward if they turn in adventurers that aren't registered.
Also, I will not have it this session, but next session I'll probably create a special forces unit for your military that is adventuring parties.
Okay.
Oh god, imagine the chaos that you just like. You know what? We need some help. Unleash the adventurers.
Yeah, they'll definitely have a an ability where they have disadvantage on morale checks, but they can never rout because they'll panic, but they never really give up.
No one puts baby in a corner.
No one backs down from an encounter. No matter how clearly it's
No matter how
outmatched.
clearly they're fucked. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Thrum, very successful. That leaves Freya and Nulgrim.
Yeah, third verse, same as the last two fucking shitty verses.
Oh, didn't you?
they-
Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
they already
You already,
rolled.
Yeah.
you already rolled, so
Oh, yeah, okay, we're not going on to the next one. Gotcha.
Not yet.
not yet.
Yeah, just me then. Is there anything specific? Because you mentioned that there might have been some projects like the taking stock of the ore and all that stuff. Is there?
Yeah,
any...
you guys got that done.
Okay,
all
we
that-
got we
it's
got
all
all that stuff. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can always check your kingdom notes because you guys wrote down literally everything I told you from that in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if there's any extra project we hadn't double checked kingdom notes.
Fergus, get this population up so I can build.
Hey, I just got talks going with the people you wanted that are all the fucking runesmiths and shit. Okay.
I need to build.
I can't think of any specific actions to help the kingdom, so I think I'm going to.
If you want to
remember-
explore, if you have nothing else to do.
Well, Gamba, remember that that handout or that write up I did for you as the preliminary reordering the grudge blade into a knightly order?
Mhm.
Would that be a kingdom action or a personal action to?
That would be a kingdom action because you'd be needing to dip into kingdom's resources.
Okay. I think I'd like to get started on that knightly order. I think is what I wrote up for you sufficient to at least start it.
Yes.
Okay, then I'll go that route.
The hug blades.
I think I'll go with the influence die if that works.
Yeah. I was gonna say lore, but influence works as well.
Ooh, I'll go with lore. I feel like that's a bit more fitting.
It's the same knife.
Yeah,
die.
but thematically in my mind.
Mhm.
The we've gotten over it blades.
The political discourse that Tascal's kicked up within the temples is absolutely going to be factoring in here.
Yeah. What guy? Or actually, I think I'll speak with Tascal on this one, and probably even Fergus in there too, just to kind of have his input. As he says, I want to restructure the Order of the Grudge Blades. I think I know a lot of us have misgivings on the way it was done. I'm thinking it would be more beneficial if we acted with more order rather than be seen as executioners. I think.
I feel like you should also address what constitutes a grudge. If something's just something that upset a certain small group of people, that's not really a grudge towards our whole people. Like I remember some of the grudges you had, like that we dealt with.
Oh,
Like
yes.
yeah, they were bad, but they weren't like let's hold a grudge for the entirety of time because of this.
Trust me, I hear you on this one.
So I'm saying, like, as you establish this Night Order, you should also establish what constitutes a grudge and make it a little bit more severe than it was in the past.
Well, so unfortunately, you would kind of gesture to the book at his hip. I don't write this. I am guided to write this. The grudges are not held. It's not something we determine. The living is determined by those that passed.
Yeah, but those that passed are we already have those grudges. But as you're establishing this night, you should establish what grudges are, so any new grudge blades that join and anyone that hears about them hears about what constitutes a grudge that's more severe than what past. So we influence the future, is what I'm saying.
So yes, and that is actually part of what I had already planned up. Is
can I mention something really quick that might be
Sure.
helpful? I don't know certain things as grudge blades, but remember Gumbo said that it's like a dwarven tradition already to have the spirits of the dead or whatever already be like commonly communicating and debating with the living. So would you not be able to literally talk to the dead people about the grudges?
I've tried a few times. They don't talk to me.
Well, that's also
now
because we had issues there.
They're trapped in the black iron or destroyed completely, but there are now ancestors who are being reintroduced.
Now, real quick, Gamba, just to make sure I still recall correctly, I do see the spirits basically perpetually at somewhere in my vision, right?
Yes. Yeah, you are unfortunately dealing with the ones that are not at rest, unlike the ones in the halls of our fathers, which are at rest.
Yeah. So
maybe
the ones I see are the ones that hold the grudge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So no, I've tried communicating with
but
them.
Maybe you could utilize the spirits that are at rest to make some sort of communication. I don't know.
And something to look into. That might be something.
I was just stressing that we'd want to establish in the future going forward that the grudges get harder to be.
So, but that's more of a cultural thing than a Night Order thing. But I will do my part, because part of the structure I have in mind, the lower ranks, before they volunteer, and I will make it emphasis that they don't, that the rank of Grudge Blade both has to be earned and has to be educated as to what you're getting into and the risks that come with it. And I'm not going to put somebody in the situation that I was put in. But those that are lower ranks, their role will be to follow up on the grudges, to research the books and get the truth of the matter, and just use that as to ascertain whether or not I'm willing to let that grudge exist and take that burden of the transformation of having an incomplete book. But that, again, will be something that I will make known to future Grudge Blades. That is the sacrifice that I see as being there. But, so, yes, in short answer, I do plan on having an evaluation to the grudges that are in the book and deliberation on whether or not that grudge should be collected.
Have you ever tried to collect on a grudge without killing the target of it?
The only target I've actually killed was the blue ghost.
I'm just thinking, maybe not all of those grudges that we've had were necessarily related to killing them, but maybe, I don't know. There
is a grudge I would prefer to try to resolve without violence. And it's one that has been on my mind for a while into how to address. Because it is let me see if it's the right one. Wasn't the Elven battle from when we spent the time in that forest? Is that I thought that was on here.
Yes,
you didn't have any grudge against any of those wood elves. You have two against the drow.
Okay.
Oh,
So
I've got
I've got 2 against the drow, and one against that mercenary with all the dwarf beards.
Well, yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, no, I fully intend to collect on that soon. But as far as the drow, I guess it depends on how we meet them.
Yes,
So,
I just
real
wonder
quick, what
perhaps
is the
grudge.
who is the war mistress of the House of Sathis? Is that a drow?
That is a drow, yes.
Okay, just making sure. So,
Speaking of which, we'll probably have to make contact with the drow at some point. Whatever that means.
but anyways, back to the topic of the Knightly Order. I'm still working on the structure of that, but I would like it to be. Well, the reason why I have both of you here is, as he's kind of addressing Fergus and Thrum, is I feel like this. I need help deciding who should supervise, or I'm trying to figure out if there should be a higher up above that, and if it should be the Warthane, or it should be the King, or it should be the Ancestor Temple. Especially with the political discourse, I'm hesitant to tie it to a temple, especially since it's probably going to cause a lot more stress if once they find out that I am not following the ways of old. And if you feel like this is a bad time, because I've noticed that there's a lot of unease from the clergy, is this something we want to hold off? Because it doesn't have to be something I need to do now.
I mean, that would be up to Tasco. I do think it would be a good idea to have it tied somewhat to the Ancestor Temple, since the grudges literally come from the ancestors.
I agree to that, and at the same time, I could see that as being a way to hopefully.
You could also have it be a thing where, because grudge blades are so ingrained with revenge and how, their whole society is built around the grudge blades and stuff, the way they have been operating, it could be that it's a group decision for things to happen. You could say the temple, the king, and the Warthane all have to make a unanimous decision, or 2/3 majority have to decide something for changes for their faction.
Yeah,
Okay.
get into that bureaucracy.
Yeah.
So King, High Speaker, and Warthane.
Yeah, I mean,
I like that. That works.
I mean, especially considering grudge blades. Once they are grudge blades, it's usually, isn't it a thing that they actually get that weapon, and that's a really strong. The grudge blade itself is actually very strong. Like, I know you are the only one that has one currently.
That is certainly how I plan on structuring it. And if you want, I could I'll just write down the structure that I kind of have.
Also, no offense,
draft out.
Y'all go crazy pretty fast, so it's good to have more than one person supervising that.
Yeah, and especially since the sheer nature of these grudges and the targets that come from. I fully anticipate that it needs to be signed off by the king, given that there could be a lot of political fallout, especially internationally. So it is important that we keep.
And when I'm talking about like having all like the 2/3 majority thing, it'd be like major changes of the organization, not like the daily workings of the organization.
Yeah, and probably more specifically, political targets that show up on the Book of Grudges.
Yeah.
So
like
Fergus,
the important stuff, not the day-to-day stuff.
How do you feel about a bicameral legislature?
Yeah, state-sponsored religious assassins.
So, okay.
We're gonna need more checks and balances.
So I think I like that triumvirate of overseers, being the Warthane, the High Speaker, and the King. And I will move forward with this. And if Taskel, you want to speak to the Temple of the Ancestor, well, I'll leave that to you to decide, because I do plan on changing how the Grudge Blades approach the role. So,
yeah, likely have to speak with a lot of them anyway.
But
these rumors and jealousies.
All right. So, so Nolgrim is open to making it a partnership with the Ancestor Temple, but not letting the Ancestor Temple have direct authority over the Knightly Order, but only indirectly through the High Speaker. So, anyways, I'm kind of getting lost in the weeds now, so I'll go ahead and roll my dice.
Okay.
Lord.
I want to propose a filibuster.
Could I use the historic capital for this one, since it is kind of a historic organization within the?
No.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, you could probably use dwarven population because it is going to be exclusively dwarves, and it is a dwarven culture thing. I would imagine.
Okay.
'Cause I doubt we're going to have just a human.
I agreed to it. You don't need to give me shit about it.
I'm not giving you shit. I'm just saying
No.
we're not going to have a human grudge blade unless they're adopted by dwarves or some weird shit, which
Mm.
honestly would be a great backstory for a character if someone dies.
So
Now that
11 with a D8 kicker.
All right. So this is going to be a 2d10 difficulty, factoring in political stress and dwarven population. Because dwarves are involved, but dwarves are also very hidebound to their ancient traditions.
Now that I've thought about it, a filibuster
Mhm.
actually sounds exactly like what a dwarven society would come up with. Yep, that's old Joe. Long as he keeps talking, the law don't work.
All right.
So that's 12. It's ongoing.
Okay.
And did you factor in the? You didn't use the temple of the ancestors with there. I see.
I did not.
Okay, good to know. That's just for roleplay stuff.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I forgot to mention that probably getting that adventure guild going is going to increase the budget by 1. Gotta pay the adventurers. I need to take stock while all the budget is, but that's will be in between session. All right, so end of season.
I believe
No,
it's the
bro.
end of the next season. Never mind.
Yeah, end of next season is the delegation from Forge Sworn.
Okay.
Definitely want to be thinking about what land you're going to bequeath onto them.
Yeah.
All right, so Nilgrim, you're running point on the mountaintops right now, right?
Yeah, I do have people checking in on that, the message and the gift we left.
You get a report back. Contact with a storm giant and 2 cloud giants that appeared in what appeared to be a teleportation spell.
Oh, okay.
You're just
No.
getting, you weren't there personally, so you're
Yeah,
just getting
yeah.
the report.
Yep. So Nolgrim will bring this news to Fergus and say, "Well, is there a message from them?"
Yeah, there is. Do you read it first,
Yeah.
or do you just okay?
I'll take it to Fergus and we'll look over it together.
Okay. The storm giant said that the Cumulus Dominion, their statement on the matter is very simple. They have no desire for war with the dwarven people. However, they have claimed the tops of the mountain as part of their domain. Everything below the peaks, under the mountains, and the fields below are yours uncontested. The land on surface on tops of mountains are theirs, and they are not to be trespassed.
So if we're to look at I imagine as we kind of started building the road, we did surveys and drew maps of it. Would there be a route we could adjust the road to so it would be off what they define as their territory?
Yeah, not on the mountains at all.
Why do we care? They're cloud giants. They already got all the clouds.
Wait, so they're saying anything on the outside of the mountain is theirs, not just like the very apex?
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll become a problem later, but
All right, fellas, here's the plan. We're going to get some of the most stupid dwarves we got, and we're going to start moving them in up there. Now, a lot of them are probably going to die, but slowly over time, they'll legitimize our claim to the land. In about 50 to 60 years, they won't be able to do anything about it anymore.
Was this common domain? I think it's time to go giant hunting. I say we go in there as an envoy.
Go in where? They're in the sky.
Go into the sky as an envoy and then just start killing them.
Now, okay, I want to take a moment back because I want to be very clear. What Cope said does actually make sense within the context of a fantasy story, where it's like, let's find some magic, go to the sky to wage war on the giants. But from an out-of-character standpoint, it is a very funny thing. You just need to go into the sky and kill all those giants.
Yeah. Quick, get your beanstalk.
Yeah. As I want to defend Cope by saying in character that is
Yeah.
a valid thing to say.
Yeah.
Out of character is funny to hear.
Yeah.
I don't know about kill them all, but what do they need tops of mountains for?
I think the big boys on the block are just pushing their weight around. This is our
Right.
mount, our home.
Seen
Do
a
we
single
really
giant
have
that they got
the
here.
resources to get into a war with giants right now?
Do we know how many are in there?
Go shake his head.
They throw rocks.
They also have the power to apparently teleport to talk to us, so they probably have more than just rocks.
What were there? 3 of them? I think we can take them.
That was their envoy.
Yeah.
Mm.
We can honestly just do the way I was suggesting and go through Corsiconia and then just wait until they send us a message saying that they want money and then we can talk to them.
Fine by me. Is there an existing road that we could tie into?
I don't think there's currently a road that went to where we started with, because we're going through that
Okay.
route that we went down before.
It is worth also highlighting that, though it's not depicted on this map because I haven't finished it yet, you did start a small outpost with Clan Embermane close to Fastervault. So closing down the road over the mountain will essentially leave that that Jarldom on its own as an independent state.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If we go through Corsiconia, we
Yeah.
would be providing
Yeah,
them resources still.
I'm just putting all the cards on the table for it.
Yeah, I think for the time being, we'll focus on going through Corsiconia. But I think we could follow up with diplomatic relations with the cloud giants or the.
I already don't like these giants.
But I think it would help if we could figure out what they do with the land that they're calling their own and why it's important to them.
Yeah, because they just sent a message and then they left. They didn't wait for us to speak with them.
Right.
Correct. I mean,
And-
you only
What a
had a
bunch
few
of
soldiers
assholes.
that Nulgrim
Yeah.
put there.
So if it's something we want me to be stationed there and be ready to greet an envoy and discuss potential trade or potential, I don't know.
Well, I mean, we also have the option, since magic and stuff. The guards who saw them and talked to them could describe them in great enough detail. Taskell could use a sending spell to communicate with them.
Do the dwarven tunnel networks go all the way up to the peak?
That's how you guys established the roads.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, fuck them. They can't have it then.
No, they can't have the outside of our mountain. I mean, we were planning on stationing people outside of our mountain, like using that for some clans that we, don't particularly like as much. But
Okay,
also,
do you really think if we devote all our resources to fighting the giants, what resources are we going to use for everything else right now? I'm agreeing with you. The giants can suck eggs, but do we want to deal with them right now?
Yeah, we are not in a position to wage war with a kingdom of sky giants that could drop.
Eventually,
rocks
I do
on
want
us
to tell
from
them to
a-
suck sky eggs, but that is beside the point.
Cyrus, who's the master of coins, does speak up. It goes, well, not be at my place, your majesty, but you are meeting the delegation of Forgesworn later this year, and they do commonly like talking about border expansion.
I had another plan for them, but this could also be a fun one.
there's no such
Actual
thing as
borders
dwarves who live in the
mean
sky,
anything.
right?
Not
I
to
mean-
my knowledge.
Because I
What are
also
they
wanted them
supposed
to
do?
build a navy. So
Yeah.
So they could be the Navy and the Air Force.
Maybe
Well,
I
What
could
if we came
contemplate
up?
But
sharing
it is
if
certainly
they
a
were-
political. If you want to get a
Yeah.
clan on your side, it's certainly an excellent political talking point
Mm.
to be like, we need your help fucking up these giants. Like,
Yeah. Now, even if we do plan on taking over the surface, I think for the time being, it would be good to try to establish some sort of rapport with them at the very least, so we could meet with them and perhaps even just get an idea of how big their nation is and how many people there are and basically what we're going up against, because all we've seen is a rock fall from the sky.
I don't know.
And-
I don't think we should be making friends with these guys.
They drew the line pretty harsh.
Well, it's either
we should
that or
open
go to-
diplomatic relations, but I don't think we should ever concede to their border.
I'm not saying that
Debacle.
either, but I'm saying we're not in a position to.
I just say we
contest it.
wait to deal with them until we have a better stronghold and foundation of resources.
But and I fully agree with that. All I'm saying is if we could just have some sort of diplomatic connection with them, even
Freya,
if
can
it's just
you make a cannon system that points up from the mountain?
we should not talk war at the moment just because we we have so many other things to do before we're ready.
We also
to-
have so many other people who want to kill us. Do we really want another person right now? When there's a possible dragon looming in our future at the moment.
Well, Nolgrim, the best wars are planned decades in advance.
Right. I agree. But perhaps then the first step is to establish that diplomatic relation. So perhaps we could get an idea of how big their nation is and do that essential reconnaissance so we know what we're up against.
also maybe trains more than 300 dudes.
Yeah.
Also true, but we need. I'm trying to minimize impact on the budget.
What
I
if
mean-
you had a force of dwarves who traveled in ships that were carried by giant balloons that can
doesn't
go
make
attack
sense.
into the sky?
Ah, yes, the dwarf rigibles.
I'm sure they make excellent targets for the rock throwers in the sky.
Probably lose some.
So I
For
guess
now,
the
let's
ma-
just send our resources through Corsiconia.
okay.
I'm sure that'll come to bite us too, but at the moment, that's what we can do without having to start a war.
All right. Then I will review the maps for the my action this season will probably be then rerouting the road through Corsiconia, or not through, but at least try to tie into an existing. Is there any existing route that I could potentially tie into that is at the border or just outside the border of Corsiconia? So I'm not building state land on international soil. Or on,
No, it's literally the mountains, then the nation.
okay.
Yeah. That's why before we decided to go over the mountains, I kept
Mhm.
pushing that we need to talk to Corsiconia first and see about
Okay.
establishing trade. But now we can just start
Yep.
sending them through there. And I'm sure Corsiconia is going to want a piece of
Well,
the pie.
Yeah. I guess we could reroute that. So do I need to build the road first, or should I reach out to Corsiconia as we start?
As an action, you don't need to build anything. You can.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can
send-
just have them start delivering through there.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not going to be an action thing that you need. To
Okay.
do. Let's just say that's what you're doing.
I'll do that and confirm with Fergus. Do you want me to not reach out to Corsiconia and let them know that we are going to be delivering supplies?
Also, is that
through-
what the general would do? Reach out to Corsiconia?
Yeah.
Well,
like, that would
that's why
probably
I'm
be-
asking the king.
Mm.
And again,
Honestly-
it's not to say, it's more to, I don't know. I'll leave it to you.
I have one more dwarven clan I want to talk to, and then I was honestly going to send out messages to Corsiconia anyway.
Okay. Okay.
For now, we can just start sending them there. If they message us first, I'll deal with it then,
Okay.
or we can deal with it once I get to it. Because after this, I really want to contact the what are they? Either the High Cliffs, which are the traditionalist old money people, or the Paladins, because I feel like the Paladins could come in handy.
You know,
Awesome.
Fergus, I heard Corsiconia has a quite large native population that could easily be radicalized into fighting a proxy war for us. Just
Also-
something to put out.
Hiring mercenaries is a thing. Yes.
Another thing we could do, other than the people I talked about, there also is Clan Shale Brew, which are miners and masons.
That'd be a good one.
That seems like it would be good to start building up our resources, as well as if they're miners, we might be able to figure out a way to route a path through the Underdark to connect to the factions we're having issues with anyway, and we might just be able to circumvent the whole entire thing for a while.
True. Okay. Did you already reach out to whatever house had the paladins? Can't recall.
I haven't yet.
Okay.
I'm going to be doing that this next action, since I have to wait until the end of this one for the delegation from Forgeworn.
Okay. Well, at this point, I think I'm.
Yeah.
Should I start training troops? Because, like I said,
I would start training some troops.
Okay. All right.
Thrum, do you have anything you have planned for this next action?
No.
Could you help Ivy investigating the tunnels? Because I really do want to find the connection to the Sunless Sea.
Yeah.
That way, the two of you can work together and see if we can find an entrance to it before the Forged One arrive. Because that was kind of integral to my plan.
Yeah, she can go one direction. I can take some adventures in a different direction.
I figured we could just add some dice together.
Mechanically, it's just adding all the dice together.
Okay.
So if do we want to start first? With me, or start with them.
Okay.
So it would be Thrum's die.
I get Thrum and Ivy.
Thrum and Ivy, the Might die, Dwarven population, Adventurers Guild.
Oh boy.
And the Undergate.
Undergate, yes. Good call.
Holy cow.
So between all those, we should have a good chance of this succeeding.
Yeah.
1d4.
And we're still investigating north, I believe you said, because I'm going down this tunnel here.
Adventures. 1d. Ivy, Thrum, Might, Adventurers, Undergate.
Yep.
Dwarf population as well. We established that in the past.
Is the Underdark mapped?
No.
Holy shit, that's some bad rolls.
Those are some terrible rolls.
Good thing.
Somebody jinxed it.
Only 2d8. Oh, God. Wow.
I'm going to take a bio.
We had such a good chance of that succeeding, too.
There was so many good dice in there. And this isn't even one of those tests where it's like you reduce it. It was just, if you succeed, I reveal another area of the map.
Yeah.
We're never going to expand at this rate. And then how are we going to be expansion?
Yeah, we're having the dice gods hate us today. Well, I'm going to send a delegation out to, I'll say Shale Brew.
Shale Brew? All right.
Yeah. Would Embermane be neutral to them too?
Shale Brew argue with everyone, so they
probably
are
not
going,
a good thing too.
They are going to actually increase the difficulty here.
Okay, then I won't use that.
Yeah.
Which one was Shale Brew?
They're the Masons miners.
Mm-hmm. Some of the finest Masons and miners in the world. They are temperamental contrarians. Will push back against any idea, even if they agree with it.
Actually,
I mean, we could do that unless you guys think we should go with the Paladins first.
I think Shale Brew. I think we need to focus a bit more on.
Yeah, we need industry.
Commerce.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So let's see, Dwarven, historic capital. I mean,
yep.
So that's a D6.
God, that roll that Cope did, like that is not even like my difficulty being too high. Those are just some bad rolls.
Yeah. Really good rolls for you.
Well, I guess that's a total of an 8.
And got a total of a 7. All right, so end of the first season of next year, Shale Brew will be arriving.
Can't wait to talk to those contrarian bastards.
All right.
Do we need to send Ivy to check them out?
Well, she
Next
already took her
action.
action.
Well,
Yeah,
I know,
sure,
but I
sure.
mean next action or next.
I need to expand this territory and find out where the stuff is, because part of my dealings with
if you
Forgeborn
like,
is talking about getting them to build a navy, because the Drow have access to some of the sea and have a fleet down there. If we want to defend ourselves, we need to have a way to block them from basically sending troops over water to us.
okay.
That
if you
was
want,
my.
I could put some attention on trying to explore as well.
I mean, you can do that if you want, but you can also train troops. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'm good with either way. I'm seeking
Yeah,
what you feel
I
would be
would
best for the
like to
kingdom.
get this expanded
I
at
would-
least one more branch.
I
Okay.
will let you know if you do decide to do that, Nilgrams. You'll just roll just your officer dice, and we'll include it as part of the pool that Cope already rolled this season.
Okay.
Okay, and even if you do that, though,
Yeah, that's
it
not
won't
gonna make a
succeed.
difference.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
just letting you know up front.
Okay.
That's how it
No,
is.
that,
So yeah,
that's,
just
that's fair.
build some troops then.
Okay. So yeah, I'll focus. Should I?
Yeah. How troop building works is you just pick if you are
Yeah.
doing levy, basic, elite, or special forces, and then you roll. And you can
I think I want special forces. I think we could probably use. We've got general, grunts at this point. I think we could benefit from having some heavy tanks with the Dammer Guard.
Mm-hmm.
Heavy tanks. I'll get back to you on that.
Looks at the army of thousands of golems in space.
Right.
Man, that could kill a lot of giants.
Yeah, it could. But the stress that cause, we'll have to address that one with care. But okay, so for me, that would be my die.
Your die. For Dammer Guard, I would say, since it is like an honor guard, usually associated with a throne, I would let you use influence instead of might.
Okay. I will take that. Military Academy.
Yep, definitely what it would be there for. Anything else? Just everyone really quiet, or
Huh? My action's just been done.
Yeah, I'm
all right?
good to do mine, but it's just gonna be the same thing.
Okay, so I'll roll the difficulty for Nulgrams here. It's 2d10 and then a d8 because of the population stress. And I got an 8. So what was the effect die that you picked there, Loki? If you're
It's
saying
D6.
anything, Loki, you are super muted if you're saying anything.
Did we lose Loki?
No, it just says he's muted. Just like Cope.
I think he might have been in the conversation outside.
Oh,
the
no, he
game, so.
left.
Nope. All right, bio time, everyone.
Yep, I'll be right back.
You don't have to keep doing the research the Black Iron Army if you want to build or work on something else, Freya.
Yeah, that kind of begs the question of if we could delegate a task, maybe max a 2 dice to it.
Well, it's kind of pertinent to whether or not we need to destroy all of this or use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if the souls are just gone, then that opens up things morally.
Mm-hmm.
If only I could get this demon off my head. It's normal for crowns to slowly infuse onto your scalp, right?
I'm told.
Depends on how long you've worn it.
Man, but that roll for that exploration that
Mhm.
Cope did, that's just bad luck.
Yeah, that's kind of why I wondered just now about like delegating a task. Like max of 2 dice would be minimum effect, even if it does succeed, no chance of success. I mean, right now it's still kind of like what, maybe 800 dwarfs tops. So
I'm back.
Yeah, not a whole lot.
Other than getting other clans on our side, is there another way we can increase the population?
to direct all our efforts, but once we get
Yeah,
the population
that's the-
stressed down to maybe like a D4.
Yeah, exactly. That's the primary way to lower population. You guys can try to take other stress actions to reduce political or civic stress. You don't have to just live with them if you don't want to.
Yeah, and that's probably what I'm gonna have to do with my action.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to size up what'll happen before I commit to something, because I do need to talk to the people, and I kind of feel like getting all 3 back on equal footing will be, at least a little bit of reduction, but
Mhm.
at the same time, too much higher, and it's kind of become a fracture. It's got a couple of tiers before that, but still. It went up 2 last time.
Just go over Fergus. So, good news, bad news, depending on how you take it. I did manage to get one of the temples happy. Bad news is I may have started a holy war.
A holy civil war.
Yep.
Bad news is there is a new schism in the religion, and some of them have started worshiping their dogs.
Tell me, are you familiar with the term Antichrist? Because that term is being tossed around a lot in regards to you.
Which is weird. Christ isn't even in this fandom.
Yeah, take a Loki a minute to restart his
I gotta turn your computer off occasionally, people.
You've heard of the Antichrist. Now see the Proto-Christ.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Good. Seems like Skype needed to update.
do that. I hate it when it says, no, you have too many updates out of whack.
Yeah, it's like, especially mid calls, like, all right, well, we're just gonna not work now because. So, all right. Obviously my 114 isn't gonna cut it. So, what did I miss in the meantime?
Oh, you rolled. Sorry, I thought all 6 of those dice were the same thing.
Oh no, I only had 3 dice. My dice, the influence die, and the military academy. It's just didn't send, so I resent it.
You probably could have done dwarven population in there. You cut out while I was asking questions to you, and then you just like a solid minute of silence from everyone.
Yeah, sorry about that. So
go ahead and roll an extra d8. See if I.
All right. Oh, that might help. So 11.
All right. 11, and your effect. Okay, so
58 kicker.
Yes. So the difficulty for training special forces is now 2d4. So that'll be much easier to finish it up next season.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you.
All right. I think that just leaves mine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Well, and Freya wants to roll.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, but did you pause the music?
No, it's still going on my end.
Yeah, it's still going on my end.
It glitches sometimes.
Let me try refreshing.
All right. The funny part is these could come up as ones anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad roll on Freya's. That's
No.
It can also come up as 12.
Yep. 2d12 is a potential of help. An average on that's 11.
So progress is still ongoing. This is like the culmination of ultimate dark sorcery from Bendrak. That's why it's got such a high difficulty.
Possibly including a deific figure.
Mm-hmm. So, Taskell.
Mm-hmm. Call the conclave of the elders. Off the bat, I suppose, offer an apology to the Fire Temple. I did not mean to offend. The intent was for each temple to get bootstrapped and then help the others. On that front, ask the elder of the Ancestor Temple how they would feel about having help from the other two. So that's this mess.
They were content to leave us to rot when we weren't able to communicate with the ancestors, and they have completely cut us out of the dwarven legal system, which will be fine on their own without their help.
Very well. I just did not want you to take offense when, having learned this lesson, I did not have the others help you. And from there, I suppose the plan will be to continue to upgrade the Ancestor Temple to kind of figure D4 is like base functionality, like all the decorations could still be restored. D6 is probably, starting to look nice.
Yeah, you're correct.
All their facilities online. So for this season, the plan will be to continue restoring the Ancestors Temple. Are there any objections aside from wanting their own to be the first?
You say besides wanting their own to be the first, and the hands sink down.
Well, it's the most important thing.
I'm sure you hold it so, but my job is to rule, or it's not to rule, to lead all three equally.
But when are we going to be reinstating the ancestral conclave to rule over legal decisions of dwarven law? We've put up with the Longbeard councils long enough, says the ancestor cleric.
Yeah, they are the legal system. That's probably going to cause even more political stress. Maybe some civic.
Hold on, I'll go call my uncle-in-law. Drum, get in here. Defuse the situation.
Nothing's ever equal. Every dwarf's got one leg's longer than the other.
Just send Thrum in there with like 15 kegs and let him sort it out over the course of a couple of days. He'll figure something out.
He comes out of there. All right, good news. We talked it out. We settled it. We're at war with the giants.
So it's a religious dispute. How'd that happen?
They're unified.
Take
the win.
Nothing unifies like an outside enemy.
As soon as I gave them an outside enemy, they all got along really well.
But hey, good luck on sorting out that judicial system thing.
Yeah, I'd kind of like that to be part of this, because, if we're restoring it to function, then it's going to be...
the issue is that traditionally, if you think about the dwarven government as like as a three like political entity, this would be like the judicial branch. So the issue being that traditionally they summon the ghosts of the ancestors to be like the judges in like big legal disputes, but because they couldn't contact them, they've been using elder dwarves, hence they call the Longbeard councils.
Mhm.
And obviously the Temple of the Ancestors eager to return to the ancestral conclaves, but a lot of the other dwarves who are part of the other temple, who they themselves are Longbeard, are not content to let their dead ancestors regain the foothold on their judicial power. So it's picking one path is going to make someone angry.
Oh yeah, picking any path is going to make everyone angry.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we got to replenish that workforce first, right? There are no dead ancestors to help right now, right? They're all in the golems.
I figure we got it. I figure we got at least 50 years before we got to deal with this problem.
Yeah, so you can keep working on the ancestor temple if you're trying to keep kicking this can down the road.
But it's probably going to have to be part of the restoring of this, because at least they're going to want the chairs properly aligned.
Yes. So this role here is to build up the ancestor temple, not reduce the stress, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go with that. Double check. Got me, industry, forge name, Heart of the Moon, and Ancestor Temple. Since they declined other help.
All right. D8 with a D4 difficulty, so go again. Ooh.
17.
Well, I gotta tell you, they aren't helping very much with my.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You succeed.
So there's that at least. On a character, I was kind of leaning towards like a two-partite system of having the Longbeards and the ghosts judge over a thing, but but I mean that's again any path will piss everyone off because it's not what they wanted.
I mean, why not put some young guys in there too? Right now, you've got the dead, the almost dead. Why not get some young folks?
Okay, I got it.
Like
So
Thrum.
your judges are the ghosts, but you're entitled to a jury of your grandpas.
I hate legal systems.
So we've got the ghosts as the judge, elders as the jury, and Grudgeblade as the executioner.
If you want.
The young people are in the mines.
I'm afraid y'all haven't fucked this system up enough. Who are going to be the two that argue as the attorneys?
This will probably also be Longbeards, let's face it.
I mean, I was kind of feeling like a panel of 5 judges with the defendant being able to pick between 3 of one or 3 of the other. But
They get to pick their own jury?
they don't get to pick the jury. They get to pick which ratio the jury has.
Which, to be fair, is pretty much what we do.
But
lawyers aren't.
And that's how I know this system is terrible.
But you do manage to increase the ancestor temple without too much due discourse. I believe that's everyone's actions this season, so we can cut to the delegation from Clan Forgeworn.
Fun stuff.
All right. The delegation arrives. The clan head and champion of the clan, Gopper Silvertongue.
You said Gopper?
Gopper. Gopper. Yep.
Okay.
Get out there and win one from the Gopper.
I picture all of us giving each other a look when we hear his name be announced.
Good old Job.
Anyway.
Yeah. Like, you got something wrong with Gopper?
No, I like it. I like it.
I just wanted to make sure I heard it right.
It just
Right,
reminds me of
scoppers.
Caddyshack.
He shows up with his delegation. He's wearing a full plate made of like this dark, almost like burgundy red steel. That's got glowing dwarven runes worked into it. Along his belt, he's got a clanking different artificer tools. Some of them look like they were shortened for war. He's got long black hair that he pulled back into a ponytail, and then beard that he's braided into several long braids. He's got some sort of like artificing schmutz across his nose. Didn't seem to care enough to wash his face before meeting the king of Dammerhall. Comes in with his delegation. Kind of like everyone's looking around at the very the well-made stone architecture of the throne room where you're meeting them. You don't need to do insights. They appreciate good dwarven craftsmanship, and the mithril throne, has some of the finest.
I will say, I probably during this, I would have to make sure Freya brought her mech suit to be in the corner while she's here, just to have it. Anyway, continue.
Is this all I am to you?
Oh, you speak when you're outside of that thing?
Now shut up, or I'll put someone else in there. Yeah. Upon reaching the foot of the throne, Gopper does the half incline at the waist bow. Says, "Your Majesty, King Fergus, I appreciate your invitation. It does my bones good to be walking these halls." But this may or may not be the first time that you notice that the Embermane delegation never called you king.
Yeah. Be like, probably should be aware of that for next time. We kind of give a head nod to him, like, you're not the first to say that, but I assure you that it's all appreciated all of the as much as any other. Sorry, I'm trying to think. It's appreciated as much as ever. As like, it's always appreciated to hear that it's good to be back in the kingdom and everything.
Mm-hmm.
This is me speaking with my tongue and not Fergus speaking with his tongue.
Don't worry, I get it. That's why regardless of roleplay, I always try to boil stuff down to roll your persuasion die and have that be the thing.
Yeah. Basically, I do the thing where I sing his praises about how I've heard of his clan being renowned for artifice and invention and necessities, like kind of implying necessities for war, but necessities nonetheless. And the banquet's here to welcome you, but in the coming days, I do have ideas and plans for the future bonding of our clans that I could speak to you of. Things that might interest you greatly, that might require all the knowledge that your clan could muster to come up with solutions. And
yes, giant things, you could say.
Yes, that too.
I'm all for discussing the future, Your Majesty, though I must warn you, my daughter is taken. Sorry, joke.
Just looks at him like, none taken.
Yep. Couldn't help but noticing the state of the surface gate as we were coming in, though. Looks like skeleton crew. Some of the old runes have been worn down. Not worry about the humans deciding to get greedy, eh?
I don't go to your forge and tell you how to light the embers.
I mean, no offense.
Also, the humans are less of an issue at the moment because they take forever to come to an agreement. Almost as long as the dwarves, but either way.
Yep, lots of nodding from the delegation, like, yep, this is true. This is no.
No, this checks out.
Yeah.
But is an issue that we will have to address in the future, but we have some more pressing matters that have happened and that we have learned on our journey to reclaim Dammerhall. And basically, we wouldn't be doing it in around everybody, but I would like do the thing I did with the Embermain, where I invite them to speak with us the next day to discuss more of the business matters of it. And today is just like the day for the clans to be united in celebration of Dammerhall and greetings and everything. Because some things should just not be talked about during celebrations and all that.
Yes. So, fast forwarding, playing time with Bendy. What is your pitch to Gopper Silvertongue about his holdings that his clan could be looking forward to in joining you, a potential jarldom for him for his folk to look over?
So I do speak with him that we're currently in search of a plot of land that I had in mind for his people, but in the meantime we could work something else out. But I basically explained to him about the Sunless Sea.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do all the details, but I tell him about a creature that seems to be able to dominate the minds of the sailors, and how the Drow seem to have dominion over a good chunk of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they can do that. What was
that? Fergus, I realize you're on this whole Sunless Sea thing. Maybe it's better we promise them the land that was already being used for these forges than just...
Do we want to give them... But the thing is, I thought we didn't want to give them access to lands inside of Dammerhall. Isn't that what was it? Did we not talk about that a couple sessions ago?
Maybe, but I don't remember.
This is Dammerhall, right?
Yeah.
But this out here is territory that it looks like we're basically supposed to give away.
Probably I shouldn't have revealed that one just because you actually don't have access to it. But yeah, you could do either or both of these chambers there as well if you want to tie them over.
Okay, so...
And those are not Dammerhall.
Those are not Dammerhall.
Yeah. Well, anyway. The pitch is that, I do plan on having them be close, as their knowledge of artifice and their skills are much to be desired.
Mm-hmm.
But one of my plans is I basically pitch him the idea of the first ever Dwarven Navy.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of imply that if anyone could make a Dwarven Navy, it would be Clan Forgeworn for a water plane that does have access to no winds.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't drop hints about the Sky Giants yet. I want to just kind of pitch this at the moment. Mm-hmm. But regardless of if he has ideas about the Navy and if his people would do it, I would probably plan to let him have the lands probably to the north of us here.
All right. So, why don't you go ahead and give me a persuasion check?
I have advantage on it. So. Let's see. Just checking stuff. Just making sure I can't have anything else added to it.
Use all the points.
Yeah, okay. So it's just an advantage roll. 25.
All right. While the idea of a dwarf on the sea is still not preferable, the engineering challenge you pitched to him over the negotiation clearly intrigued something of the artificer in him.
Yeah, that was basically the goal. Was like, hey, you could be the only one that could come up with this kind of technology. And then that's why I also dropped the hint of the people who were trying to dominate the minds of people, so he would have that in mind to work around as well. So to plan a plan around that.
Yeah. He would be willing to accept some territory outside of the city for the clan. If you wish to delay to find a entry point to the Sunless Sea, he can give you 1 season without there being any political penalty. Essentially just one more chance if you want.
Yeah.
Or you can give them a territory now, but then if you want them to set up a port when you do find it, you'll be giving them a second jarldom. which is
Yeah.
fine. You could do that, but it's just so you know.
What do you guys think? Should we just really put into trying to find that plot next?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you can get
I
that.
think we're really
the,
close. It's
scouting.
just I'm not rolling 18 die again, but all twos.
So yeah, I would basically plan on giving them the port area that I could find, and if it becomes an issue, we can address it, and I would give them a different different plot.
All right.
So that'll be planned further. Hopefully, we don't roll really piss poor again.
Yep. And there's of course like lots of little political minutia that we're like glossing over.
Yeah.
Like technically speaking, like when you give the clan land and then they give you candidates for being the Jarl who will overlook it, and like technically you have the right to veto, but in gameplay terms we don't really need to address that. We can just say that you're doing that. It's working.
I imagine there's also some trades of like, hey,
Mhm.
you're also going to send some people to Dammerhall occasionally to help us as well as a trade kind
Yeah,
of thing.
Yeah,
It's all those like tiny little details.
that we just really don't need to get into.
Yeah.
All right, last season of the year.
So, Thrum, do you want to try to handle that again, or should Ivy go solo?
I think we ought to break it into two separate forces.
That's
think
not
you-
how it's going to mechanically work, my man.
Gaba already said that it would just add a die onto whatever you roll already. So
Yep.
But hey, maybe you could talk them into giving you an extra D6 for the place people wanting to find their place they were promised.
Okay. Yeah, that's a fair read. I will agree to that.
So what just happened?
So you get a D6 from Clan Forge Sworn. Sorry.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, Forged Sworn. I wrote it down without an S in my notebook.
What about this? What if Ivy continues with that? Because I had the idea of using my neighborhood watch to try and lower some of the stress.
Okay.
Is that something I can do, Gombo?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, civic stress probably more than population or political stress, but you could absolutely, I would say, just kind of attending to the needs of the citizen could lower the civic stress. That's definitely something.
Okay, so I'll just start planning out Ivy's.
For the,
Although I
political.
think we still may want to hire die on this because if we don't get it, we get more stress potentially.
Yeah, we get more stress if we fail this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think we need to.
All right.
I
I'll
mean,
keep
if you
looking.
don't want to do it, Fergus will just get directly involved and lead an expedition if he has to.
Eventually, we're going to explore all the way back through the Underdark, and we're going to go back to Scorpion Base and find all of our gross, moldy-ass food we left in there.
It's just one gelatin. It's like a new form of ooze. It's sent in trying to-
Ew.
Be like, ooh, who's our little scorpion baby? And it's like, blub, 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 blub.
I didn't ask to be made, Dad.
Didn't mean to hit enter there.
I
We'll
mean,
save
that's-
those rolls. So.
Yeah, that's
Yep,
definitely a
keep
5 and a
those.
6, so you're off to a good start.
I'm going from there. Let's see. I need to add Ivy.
Ivy, Clan Forgeworn, or Forgesworn. I keep doing it wrong.
Yeah, I did it wrong in my own notebook.
The Undergate
Adventurers Guild.
Adventurers Guild.
Oh God.
And Dwarven Population as well.
I also like that we named that base after the thing we killed in it.
All right, I've got Undergate, Ivy, Thrums Group. God damn it, what is that? Adventurers Guild. I get a 1d6 for the clan.
Forgesworn. Yep. And then you also get a 1d8 for Dwarven Population.
Come on, Dwarven Population.
This is,
You
this
got
is
an
killing
11
me.
currently.
Jesus.
I mean, you have an 11 from the historic capital in Thrum,
And I got a
Hey.
10.
There we go.
so we got it.
Glad we put Thrum into that one. We needed
Also,
that 5.
This is a nice little settlement for them. This is a nice big cavern.
Yeah.
Now I'm waiting for the pin to drop that there's something else wrong with it.
Not currently.
Yes, that inspires me with confidence. So yeah, this is the territory we grant Clan Fordsworn.
I'll just pre-mark that then. Let's do it there and.
I succeeded on my roll for Clan Shalebrew, right?
Yep, they're coming at the end of the season.
Okay.
Didn't we have a handout or something with the clans on them?
I have it written down for myself. My notes are kind of shitty, but I can just post them real quick onto Roll20.
Yeah, if you can, that would help for knowing roles and
There we go.
stuff.
You guys should see the little territory I marked for them there.
Yeah. So we already have Client Fordsworn. We have the Embermains, and we have the Shalebrew coming. To be determined.
Let me turn these Steam notifications off because they pop up right in front of the text box on Roll20.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything loves that bottom right corner.
Yep.
Yeah. As far as planning goes, though, I am probably going to send out a delegation this season to Corsiconia.
Mm-hmm.
They are our closest non-dwarven neighbors, and it'd be probably nice to stay on good peace terms with them.
Okay.
And, after 3 groups of dwarves wandered through their lands, I'm sure they're like, what is going on up there?
Yeah, it's probably a good call.
So it would be influence.
Yeah, definitely influence.
Have we opened up trade with them?
Nope. That's why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
So my die, influence. Let's see, is there anything else? That might just be it. It might just be a 2-die roll.
Well, commerce.
That's
No, you could.
I already
Yeah,
have
only
influence
influence
going.
or con-
Yeah, only one.
Oh, it can only be one.
The only thing I could maybe kind of pitch is maybe the Adventurers Guild has some people from Corsiconia but I don't think that would even work. So.
Why don't you take a shipment of excess ore or excess steel?
That
Yeah,
could
first-
actually work.
As like a
First
proposal for
goods.
trade, yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
good call.
Do you mind if I use the excess steel? Or
Go for it.
You the king.
so that's a 9.
All right. This is 2d6.
Good
Nice.
use of the steel. Good use of the steel.
Yep.
All right. You'll be getting some news soon about how that's going.
Could have made some robots with it. Yeah, pretty good.
You could have told me no and told me to use the ore, but I asked and no one objected.
Right? You
We'll
can still
find
use the
more
ore
steel.
for your robots.
But those are the actions for me, Thrum, and Ivy.
Mm-hmm. Task goal, Freya and Ilgrim.
Olgrim will go ahead and try finishing train up the
All right. I'll just do this up front here. Yeah, so just anything higher than a 4 and you're good to go.
Okay. See what I used last time.
While he's rolling that, did you say there was anything to reduce the stress of the population other than just getting the clans?
Oh, thank you for reminding me. Hold on. Boop. It's now a d6.
Okay.
You got a
I was
clan, you
curious.
reduce it. If you get Shale Brew, it'll go down to a d4.
Gotcha.
There may be
These-
other stuff like if you get like a plague that would cause population stress, and that'll be a different thing. But currently in role play, it's just you need more people. So
Gotcha.
Do you say I could use dwarven population for army training?
for your special
the
forces,
Dammerhall,
for
yeah.
the special forces in particular, and it is
Okay.
worth pointing out, you're going to be able to create anywhere from 1 to 5 units with this successful roll. They just all have to be special forces. So
Okay.
you could create up to 5 Dammerhall, or you could get clerics in there or whatever. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, you got more than 4.
Okay.
So if you make 1 unit, that'll increase the budget by 1. And if you create anywhere from 2 to 5 units there, it'll increase it to 2.
So what do you guys think? Do we want to just train up our army now, or just get a little bit of a bump and minimize impact on the budget?
I'd buff it up because you spent the roll on it and you got it.
Okay.
And if you put in clerics, maybe Gombo will allow us to have like a military medical wing that could help in certain.
This is not going to be creating an asset.
And
Okay.
do you say between 2 to 4 would just be a 2 increase?
2 to 5 total.
2 to 5.
If you just do 1 unit, it'll just bump it up to 1.
Okay. I think I want to keep a slot from the max so I could put something else in. Let's do 2 Dammerhall and 1 cleric.
All
Get
right.
3 units out of it and keep room
So
for 2.
that will
mid-range.
be a total of 60 Dammerhall and 20 clerics.
Yeah.
Just note that down somewhere.
Okay. I'll put that in my kingdom notes.
Yeah, it is worth noting that the Dammerhall are much tougher. Probably your basic dwarven defenders are going to do more damage offensively because of the number difference.
Yeah. But I wanted a strong armor.
Mhm.
All right, that'd be my turn.
All right.
Mhm. Well, I kind of want to smooth over some of this political stress, but I'm at a loss for what all to add to it. Influence is kind of on the list, I think, but
Yep. It would be you, influence, historic capital if you want to appeal to everyone. Be like, come on, this is fucking Dammerhall. Pull it together, you shits.
Mhm. I mean, considering the stress involves all 3 of them, I would want to get all 3 churches in on it, but at the same time, they're the reason for the stress.
Yeah. Get Thrum's Gestapo to knock him around.
I'd like to change the name to like Neighborhood Watch,
All right.
Community Pillars, or something just very mild.
Thrum's Friendly Baby Force.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Good old boys from very respectable families.
Anyways, I'm gonna continue
Bob
to
Ross's
do
Happy Little Dwarves.
Backstreet Boys.
into the Black Iron. Fair to say, I can use the Clan Embermane and Forge Sworn dice.
Yes.
Oh, should come up soon.
Look at all those ones.
I got a 7 and a 6 though.
I rolled 5.
You're finally making progress.
Let's see.
So remind me, what is Freya trying to do? I keep forgetting to ask.
Researching into the black iron steel and the golem to see about if there's like dwarven souls trapped in there and stuff.
Actually, you
Gotcha.
could take the 6 from Clan Forge, the 4 from Runeworks, and use your D10
Well,
Freya.
technically speaking, you're supposed to pick that before I
that's
roll.
fair. That's
so
that's
I was,
fair.
I
That's
just
fair.
looked at the ones, and the highest is a D6.
Yep.
So
No,
that
that's
will take
absolutely
it from
fair.
a D12 to a D8, which will make your next one significantly easier. To be fair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also, it seems to make sense that now that you got Forge One that are like
Mhm.
runesmiths and stuff to help you in addition to Emberman,
Mm-hmm.
that you start making more progress.
But
Feel like
you
it's
actually
good.
feel yourself starting to gain traction in this one, Freya.
I feel like it's gonna be a running joke that we rename Thrum's organization every session.
Right. We can just title our episodes based off the new faction name.
I do like the name for the pillars though.
Yeah.
I like that.
The
Instead of
Pillars of
police, the
Society?
pillars of society. Yada,
Yeah, I like
yada.
that.
All right.
Eh,
Now for Caskell trying to reduce smooth over political things.
mm,
You can just say you spend the season, talking with people and shaking hands. You don't need to describe to me what you're
Kissing
doing.
babies, shaking hands, shaking babies,
Kissing
kissing
hands.
hands.
14. Terrible.
7.
Yay.
So
D6
D6.
ticker.
Yeah, so that will successfully bring it down to a D6 of political stress.
Yeah.
Hey, everything helps.
Oh, I know. And certainly prevents it from hurting as much.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Hmm.
That's everyone.
I think so.
I believe so.
All right, so the Shale Brew delegation is going to be arriving.
Lovely.
Did you already think about what you wanted to give them?
I was thinking about giving them this area here.
Mhm.
What about the? Oh yeah, we weren't wanting them inside Dammerhall, right? Because I was wondering, the lowest level seems to be like the mines and all that stuff.
Yeah, with all the golems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
They're
we could
they're
relocate the
masons
golems at
and
any
stuff, so.
point.
I would offer them that, but I was also going to offer them that if they wanted to be, I don't know what their relationship is with them, but if they wanted to be on the side closer to where Clan Embermane is, that there's some area near the fungal jungle, and if we can establish, there's a keep that we killed a bunch of drow in.
Yeah, I think that's a little hard to reach at the moment. You have your road going through Corsicana.
That's why I didn't want to bring that up.
Yeah,
too much, I would mention that in the future that we might have plans for them to establish second holding there because we do know of a location with a lot of rock salt.
Mhm.
But at the moment, it's a little unreachable. So
Mhm.
I would want to actually. I would probably say this one because that way, since they're masons and stuff, they could probably be utilized to the Forge Sworn and to Dammerhall if they're in between us.
Yep.
What about that old the mine we found
It's a little out of reach as well.
that we sold to the elves?
We never sold
Imagine, I mean, these are obviously fairly large given the cities are one square, but is there any noteworthy features in any of these caverns? I mean, that was the coast, but still.
If you did an in-depth exploration of an area, that wouldn't be a roll. I would just tell you. It would just take an action. Otherwise, if you assign it to the territory, you'll be surprised. They might find something, and then they get to keep it because it's their turf.
Yep.
Or then they get to try and pawn it off on us if it's a problem.
Exactly. Feudalism.
But as far I'm going to do more investigation in the future other than this, but I just wanted to get some people under our belt immediately.
Yeah.
Because we were hemorrhaging people.
Yeah.
Yep. And
So yeah, I want to put them right here in the middle between the two of us.
All right.
Sounds
So
good to me.
the day of the delegation comes.
Mm-hmm.
The leader of the delegation is the clan head of Clan Shaleru. Flip through my notes here to where I wrote down the name. Damn it, notebook. Cooperate with me. Yes. Palry Quartzwall. A sour-faced dwarven woman who has gray hair that you can't tell if it's because of age or because that's just how her hair color is. And you take it polite not to ask. Her delegation is much smaller than the last two. But everyone is resplendent in multiple jewels and precious stones pulled from the earth. They walk through the hall with a perpetual artisan's eye judging everything. Lots of pointing and whispering of small imperfections of the stonework that probably even by dwarven standards no one would be able
It's
to
very
notice.
petty.
Yes. She reaches the throne, gives a very quick bow. Your Majesty. Hey, you are a young pup.
So I've been told.
I'm not one much for the political dancing around, so I'll be quick about it. You want me folk to sort, and she just vaguely gestures, all this out, huh?
Well, we have many projects going on, but yes, sorting some of this out, he kind of motions the same way she did, would be part of it, yes. I plan to expand further, and I have plans in the future that your people will very much benefit from, as well as your skills will be much needed.
Oh, reaching out beyond your limits already, I see.
Well, got to plan for great things, otherwise you're just going to end up in the dirt.
It's all about the foundations, Your Majesty.
Well, that's why I reached out to you as one of the first clans. Can't have a foundation without solid masons.
Embermane banners walking in.
Indeed, I knew from those telling me that they were going to get involved pretty soon, even without my invitation. So I reached out to them, and we had need of scholars, and they were known for that. Is that going to be an issue?
No issue at all.
Oh, it's gonna be a sarcasm war.
So you're calling us stupid?
I suppose you'll be wanting to ally with them as swiftly as possible before a moot comes around. Word of Dammerhall's recreation is getting out of there. Contenders for your throne are going to be coming. You're going to want as many great clans on your side as possible, I'd imagine.
Indeed, it would be helpful, but if they had the gumption to take the throne, they would have done before I did. So I don't really concern myself with the conversations of those that don't have the skills to put their money where their mouth is.
She fixes you with a cold gaze for a moment, studying you. I suppose we'll see. You're new to this game of dwarven politics, my boy. Maybe you'll cut it. Maybe you won't. What's your offer? And I'll tell you how to make it better.
And I relay that I tell them about the place that I had picked out for them as a holding and everything. I do casually mention that we have a location of a expansive source of rock salt, but it is currently out of reach. But that is a plan that I plan to have that as a possible secondary place for them as we get more reach within the Underdark.
Mm-hmm.
I don't tell them where it is. I just tell them I know of an expansive area of it.
Yeah, give me a persuasion. It would be at disadvantage, but with your thing, it'll just be flat.
Rather forgotten or didn't hear, but what was the deal with them and rock salt?
Remember we went through that. It's just a really valuable
Like the really
resource of
refined,
mine.
yeah, the almost
That-
gemstone quality.
security.
It's just a thing that I could use to leverage because it's worth a lot of money and dwarves like money.
It was also a great joke that I thought was funny. It wasn't written in as a joke in the original adventure. I just thought it was funny. Have all of our jokes as a group about being salty. There's
Yeah.
a room where the wall, floor, and ceilings were made out of the salt, and there was a
Mm.
pond made out of boiling salt with
Mm.
salt crystals and little salt
Yep.
men.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I got a 21.
She agrees to work with you and bring people here into Dammerhall, but she is going to want a bigger area for their first Jarldom than that 2-space zone.
If she argues that, I would offer this one over here then.
Yeah, that would be fine. So if that's good with you, I'll mark out the territory. Heck. Ah, there it goes. It did work. All right. And I will give you that asset and all our distinction and lower your population stress.
Awesome.
Haha, it's now a D4. All right. New season. You're expecting to hear something from Corsiconia at the end of this season because you succeeded that role. Just so you know, Richard.
Yep.
Honestly, can't believe Maladraxus hasn't arrived yet.
And dragons have their time. The sense of time is different than ours. Let's leave them be for now.
No, you're right. You're right.
Couldn't possibly happen anytime.
All right. What do people want to do?
I think I could take my turn exploring this time around and free Thrum up to do something else that he might find more.
I mean,
valuable.
if we need to take a break from exploring, we could do that as well. If you have anything else you want to do, I mainly wanted to get to the place where I could plan and promise Forsworn.
Yeah, I fully agree.
But if you don't have anything else to do, you can do that. I actually have
Yeah.
something planned for Ivy to do right now, anyway. So
Yeah, I think there's a bit more room in the budget for a larger army, but I think that could sit for now. I think I'd like to do some exploring.
Yeah, it's good to stretch legs every now and then.
All right. So,
let's see, 1d8 for me. Might, so it's a 1d4. Adventurers Guild.
that's what you're paying them for.
Let's see. Anything else?
Wouldn't that make it the New Year's and the budget?
Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me, Kenneth. All right. So let me roll this up. So we got a D6 for Thyrus, a D6 for Commerce, another D6 or a D8 for Industry. This is one of the few ones where they are allowed to have 2 attributes in. Anything else you guys wish to cash in asset-wise to try to add to the budget?
And is it we need to get above a 9?
Above a 9, yes.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, I had some family aggro. What are
No
we
worries.
doing right now?
Budget
Resolving
reconciliation.
budget, yeah.
Yep.
So you said we can use which dice?
We got 6
yeah,
for this. Yeah.
I'll roll for you guys. I'm just letting you know what it is. So it's a D6 for Thyrus, and then Commerce and Industry. So you're already 3 deep.
Okay. Do we want to pump in the excess ore and try to offload some of that?
I'm thinking that would be helpful. Yeah.
We could also say, I would argue that the Adventurers Guild could be levied just because, yeah, we're paying them, but we're also getting stuff from them that might shore up our budget. Like, it's a trade-off. We pay them, but we also get the stuff that they find, and we can use that in our trades.
Yeah, that's a we're not paying them. They're bringing us relics, and we're giving them money for those relics. So
Okay, here's how I'm gonna do this. Someone roll me a D2. If it's a 2, then
We made a profit.
You've made a profit. If it's a 1, you're at a loss. How about that?
Okay, Theron,
Yeah,
you're
that
the one that
sounds
created it. You do it.
Yep.
yeah, baby, here they come. Profit all the way.
All right.
It's the first year.
Yep, it's the first year.
Okay, so then I would say use that excess ore so we can try to.
All right. So 2d6, 2d8, big whammies.
I imagine right now our prices have to be competitive, or else no one's gonna sign up for our thing.
So we got some budgeting issues.
Yep, just a tiny little bit of stress. I assume you would prefer it to be economic and not anything else.
Yeah.
Boop, that's all it is.
Right. This year we're focusing on commerce, right?
Yeah, that's why I
Yep.
contacted Corsicodia because trade.
Yep. Good call there. So, all right. Get back to mine. So 1d8 for me, 1d4 for might, 1d8 for Adventurers Guild, and was there anything else?
I do have a question. Him building up his forces and stuff, does that affect our might attribute at all?
Not yet.
Okay, I just wanted to ask. So
yeah. Raising the attributes is a pretty hard process. The simplest one would be conquering other kingdoms. Would definitely raise stuff. I also, for your exploration, we have ruled that dwarven populations back.
Okay, I thought there was something else, but I couldn't recall what it was. All right. Jesus, these fucking dice rolls.
Exploration is ongoing. All right. What's everyone else doing?
I'm trying to decide. As the king, other than talking and stuff with people, is there other actions I could take, or is it limited to anything?
It's not limited to anything. Of anything, as the king, you could basically be involved in anything you damn well please.
Yeah.
And remember that sometimes other people can step into the mains. For example, it's very logical for military prep that Taskell could raise clerics for the army, for example.
Yeah. And is there anything you could think of that could help lower some of our stress?
Well, I was going to think about either doing the stress, or I want to know if I could do investigations like I could, just less of the subtlety ones.
Sure.
Because I wanted to investigate a couple things, but I was thinking maybe Fergus could do some research on the clans while she does something else.
Yeah.
Can I do that for this one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I would want to learn more about where is it? Helmengard. The paladins, or I guess I'll open up the floor. Should I deal the paladins first or the undead hunters first?
I would vote paladins because I'm trying to form a paladin order too, so that might be helpful. Or would that be a rivalry?
I guess it really depends. We'll find out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll investigate Helmengard as my king action.
All right.
I don't think it would be a rivalry because it's an entire clan.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. So okay.
So would that be lore? You think?
Yeah, this would be lore.
Because I'm not going to their place and be like, "Sup, I'm the king."
There's an argument for influence, but it's a D6 either way. So I would say lore.
let's see. So that would be me. Influence. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think the Runework College would work, because I know it says college, but I don't imagine they know this kind of stuff.
Clan Embermane is famous gossips, so you could probably pump them for info.
I said I'll ask them then. So yeah,
Just have a tea
1d8
party with
and 2d6.
Longbeard.
So yeah.
So this is just going to be 2d6 with an additional d6 for political stress. The highest I got is 7, and you rolled a 7 flat out. All right. So what's the information you want to know? Because you succeeded.
It says you did say they were slow to make decisions.
Mhm.
I want to basically know what gives them basically the call to action. What makes them want to work for things? What are the things that they're not slow at deciding things for? Basically, what can I use to get them on our side? What are they after more than anything else?
Well, as a bunch of righteous paladins, they really like to drop the hammer on fiends whenever possible. You do know that sometimes drow have been known to do demonic summonings, so if you're gearing up for that, that's definitely something you can do.
Okay.
Other than that, if the population is being really fucking tortured, they're more likely to get off their ass.
Okay. So I'll probably investigate another one after this, because I'm not sure if I have anything to really get them wanting to join us at the moment. So, as far as Ivy goes, I want her to investigate. Let me go to the thing. The name Lady Yinshi.
Okay.
I want her to not do it so obvious that people know she's doing it. I don't want people to know I'm looking for this.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be her. Would this be lore or influence?
Yeah, this would be lore, I would say.
Let me see if there's any. I can't really think of anything else to really add. So.
What are you having her do?
Investigate a name that I have on a letter that I got a long ass time ago.
Oh, gotcha.
So I think it's just 2d6.
All right.
Womp womp.
Yeah, unless I get double ones. Yep.
No, you definitely did not.
Investigation is ongoing. Wild practice. Neither of those were 10.
Sometime over the season, I think we should probably just take a look at the tower just to see if it's changing at all from the outside. I don't know how. I'm not saying that's a kingdom action. Nolgrim might even personally go to do that just to.
I mean, you're out exploring the Underdark.
That's true. That's true.
So we still have
I feel
Thrum and Freya.
Is the castle within Dammerhall?
Yes, it is.
I feel like doing patrols. His group would lay eyes on it. Thrums.
Mm-hmm.
Does it look like it's changed any?
It does change in just like small, confusing, self-contained ways.
That's fine with us.
Yeah, the ship tied to the side of it is gone. There appears to be a great mound of some yellow herb in the courtyard poking up over the walls.
I'm sure that's an ingredient they will dispose of when they use it. Look, the Dammerhall pillars are not into rustling up trouble where there is none.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, so far it seems to be keeping to itself.
They put posters up on the wall that says, "Don't do drugs unless it'll make you friends."
They are, however, into rustling up truffles. Which is why they keep them harvest.
Truffle shuffle, truffle
Also,
shuffle.
I don't think I've done anything for this quarter, but I was just gonna take a break from all the politicking and do a little caving and survey this doorstep.
Sure.
Time for everybody to stretch their legs.
Well, I'm going to be just doing the same thing.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and roll that, Michael?
God damn, the dice aren't on your guys' side tonight.
And you succeed. Let's see. Yeah, it's now a 2d4 task. You are on the very precipice of getting a breakthrough.
Yeah, progress.
Surveying this little
Mhm.
little section there, you don't need to roll for that. You don't find any particular interesting like ore veins beyond some like basic iron and stuff that you can find. However, you do find what looks like abandoned cave dwellings of some sort of tribal creature communities that used to be in this area. Why don't you give me a survival or investigation or nature? I'll let you pick.
Looks like survival's my better of the
Mhm.
lot. 20.
This used to be troglodyte homes.
Hmm.
Wide region, lots of small tribal communities. It doesn't look like anything killed them or drove them out. It looks like they grabbed their stuff and left.
Well, since they're down here, I guess I'll send news of that find to those two camps. Because, you know, they might still be in the area, and whatever made them leave might still be in the area.
Mm-hmm. All right. End of this season. Thrum, as the Hold Warden, who's in charge of security of the interior of the Dammerhall Kingdom, you receive a report from Taskell talking about how he found empty troglodyte dens, and that comes shortly before you get a report from the dwarves who are operating in the yet-to-be-named Bay area for Clan Forgesworn, who have been reporting dealing with an ongoing troglodyte banditry issue in the local area.
A troglodyte bandit issue?
Mm-hmm.
You'd think they'd smell them coming.
All right.
I mean, they are next to a ocean. It probably doesn't
Yeah.
smell the freshest.
Everybody put on your bandanas and your perfume masks and let's head out.
Or at least hear them going.
Wait, are they
Um,
Murlocs from World of Warcraft?
No, they're smelly lizard people.
So, Murlocs from World of Warcraft.
Yep. I don't know which officer would probably get information about this, because though it is handled internally by Clan Shalebrew, you do start getting a few bits of adamantine in the area, as they had discovered a adamantine vein within the territory that they were assigned.
I mean,
Nice.
if anyone was going to find it, it would be the Shale Brews.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
That's wonderful.
Unfortunately, since it's within their territory of their Yaldom, you'll have to negotiate purchase from them for any projects. If you had found it first, you could have built your own claim on top and just gotten it as an asset.
What the hell?
Oh no,
Yeah,
they
that's
have
why I
something we
went
want.
to-
Move them from their land.
That's why I decided to explore that one after we brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
I brought it up as a thing.
Yep. I say we do that before we place anybody else.
Well, that's why I was starting to investigate now that we actually have a sizable group of people now.
Yeah.
Like our clans that we have united are a little bit more solid. So now we can take the time to investigate places.
All right. So about this troglodyte problem. Are you all too busy fancy footing around, or are we going to just
I have
send
to
it?
speak with the Corsiconian delegation, but otherwise I'm good to go.
Yeah. You
Can
also
you-
receive a invitation, Fergus, for either you yourself or your chosen diplomat to travel to the nearby duchy to negotiate for trade deal.
Don't you have adventuring parties to take care of stuff like this, Thrum?
Look, Frey, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Nolgrim, Taskell, Fergus, all you folks who, in the last few months, I've seen you wanting to gallivant around, leave Dammerhall, go out exploring. It's in your nature. Don't suppress it.
Gombo.
Let's do it.
Since I grew up in Corsiconia, would it be a good or a bad thing if I went in person to barter the trade deal in their eyes?
It would be a definitely fine thing to go in person. It would just mean that any decisions that be made in this next season, well, you would still be able to take a kingdom action, but if they went out with swords and stuff, you wouldn't be able to accompany them because you'd be out of.
That's fine. I just
office.
wanted to make sure it wasn't going to be one of those things that, like, oh, the king's coming to personally meet with people. That's a big faux pas kind of thing. Because I figured, at least with Corsiconia, I would at least know what would be considered a faux pas with that.
That's why I didn't give you a role. You know.
And then I would ask the people here, would it be bad if I did this?
I think it's the best if you want to start things off with the right foot.
Yeah. So, yeah, Fergus is going to leave the kingdom and go out into the sunshine for the first time in a long time.
You should take a full force of bodyguards with you there.
Yes. Let me just get my shorts and my t-shirt going.
Should I send him one or both regiments of Demmerguard?
What is that white cream on your
nose? I think one.
You look
it's so I don't get burnt and I keep my nice complexion.
I think it might be safer if you went locked in a barrel like when we were on the sea.
Listen, we don't talk about my second home, okay?
We don't talk about my second home and first wife.
Okay, I'm not going to say it's a bad idea. The boy needs to get back up there and get his fresh air that he loves. Just don't talk about it when you come back, all right?
Don't worry, I'll bring you a gift, Thrum.
I'll send off one
Ground
of the battalions of Demmerguard with you as the Royal Guard.
Just send one battalion, because if you're going to go investigate the troglodytes.
One unit is 30 guys.
Yeah. No, I was thinking one or two. They're like, no, we'll be good with one and leave the other here. So
Sir, the king of the dwarves, he showed up with 60 heavily armed men.
Yeah, no.
We march forth.
I considered too, like, no, we'll just stick with one battalion of 30. Or, I don't know what the.
I just had the mental image of frickin' like, sir, President Biden has arrived and he has brought SEAL teams 1 through 7.
We come in peace, and then
But you don't know who they are.
We come in peace, and then all the soldiers slams their spears on the ground provisionally.
But yeah, so I will not be present for the troglodyte invasion because I will be out.
Can we convert them into a food asset?
I was really thinking if they had stinky blankets, we could give them to the shell brew, have them die off, and then take their adamantine vein.
God!
Not troglodyte blankets.
You were just trying to speed run Tribes Against Dwarfmanity.
Somebody's got to create the rules.
We're speedrunning
Or at least,
colonialism and expansionist conflict. That's our goal.
The rules or the laws aren't going to be created unless somebody, creates a need for them.
Our goal is to get involved in the most fucked up quagmire of geopolitical conflict that we can.
All right. So, is troglodyte a kingdom action or something we do as individuals?
It depends. Are you just going out there, the 4 of you, to look into it, or are you marshaling forces and going to want to meet on a field of battle?
How big is the issue? Because you
don't know
reports.
Okay.
Troglodytes are kind of below us at this point. I say just get the adventurers to guard out from the troglodytes.
Yep. Okay. Does would this be a general thing for Loki to take the army there, or is this considered part of our in-house network?
So so I think we're gaining. So you're of the mindset that we're going to wipe them out now.
Yeah, I was just I think it's just a.
And Freya's pushing. We'll just keep an eye on them. Right. I'm just making sure because everybody's on, where everybody stands.
I don't think we need to spend a bunch of time sending guys out to go find them. We can just have them there to guard, and then when they attack, take care of them then.
Can we send Ivy as a scout?
Sure.
Let's do that. Let's spend this session letting Ivy, assess the extent of the troglodytes, and we know how to respond from there.
Okay, we should still send the guards though.
Guards where?
Not to go out and hunt them, but just protect the people that are there from the troglodytes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Also, don't forget the Fort Sworn does have some of its own people that is guarding stuff as well. They're not like utterly defenseless.
Yeah, it's just lending aid to solidify bonds and all that.
Yeah.
All right, so why don't you go ahead and roll Ivy first?
Okay, so that will be a might, you think? Or...
Yeah, this will be a might, and if you want to co-opt and pay adventurers to help out, you could.
I think that'd be
do
good.
the adventurers, and obviously, I think Clan Forgeworn would be under this.
Yes,
as
it's
well.
in their territory, so you'd be coordinating with them. That's definitely something that would be happening.
And would this fall under dwarven population or not?
No, I don't think their skills would be
I
particularly.
didn't think so, but I figured I'd offer it up anyway.
Could we send a detachment of survivalists from the military academy, like guerrilla warfare specialists?
Yeah, I don't know if that would be a super applicable.
That's fine.
That's
so
fine.
I have 1d4, 2d6, and 1d8.
Yep.
So that's an 8.
And that's a 5. Yeah, Ivy is getting back the reconnaissance there. It is a surprisingly large number of troglodytes have been embedding themselves into the region recently. Some more seem to be coming from the north as well. Though they are currently just doing small raids, more like a vermin issue for the local Forgesworn population. If the Hornet's Nest is kicked, which may happen before too long, you're looking at probably a force of at least 1,000 troglodytes.
Sounds like it's time for our first war.
All right. I think then wait, are we still in the first?
It'll probably be next season. We have to march there.
Yeah, this is still a session where I tried scouting and failed, right?
No, I don't think so. I think this is next season.
Oh, okay,
But,
okay, good.
Yeah, you probably can't start moving out troops until.
No,
you
I,
get
I
all
was,
this information
I was
during this.
planning on
Yeah.
training up more.
Yeah, you can train out. Technically speaking, I think you would get that information at the end of the season. So
Yeah. But I was still kind of on the fence about should I just train up, because I was wanting to train up some, not the specialist, but the next tier elite, because we had 2 more slots in the army before we upcharge our budget.
right.
So I would like to get started on that.
Yeah, the elite. So that's 2d8.
28 for me. Is that influence or might for attributes?
This will be might.
Okay, 1d4. Let's see. Military Academy, 1d6. And let's see, anything else?
It depends. Are you focusing in on building Hammer Elite, or are you wanting to focus in on building catapults? Because
Hammer Elite.
Okay, yeah, then you couldn't include College of Rune Work or Fortune. Right?
Okay. Yeah, I think we just need a few more heavies on the ground.
Maybe Forge Fanes for their armor, but not like any of this fancy artificer stuff.
Okay, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's good.
See how that do. Oh, let me try the 1d8 again. Okay.
Hey, that's a sizable difference there for you.
Yeah. Well, it's break even.
Are you? Oh yeah, you're exactly even. Okay,
Yeah.
so in the course of
I mean,
Did you miss a 1d8
you
there?
just re-rolled that. That's
He
what I
just
was going to
re-rolled it
say.
and got
Yeah.
the All right, so in the case of breaking even, it goes to you, and you just make one step of progress. So,
Okay.
It is-
1d8 becomes 1d6.
yep, becomes D6.
Okay.
So. Training is ongoing.
Okay.
But yeah, like for context, this is how you're getting the feel for the army building system. If you had done basics, which were 2d6, you have absolutely gotten everyone that you wanted
Yeah.
in that run. And if you do the levy, just no roll at all. You just get what you want.
Mhm.
In time, there will be a 5th category called mercenaries that you don't roll for either. It just increases the budget to pay for them.
Gotcha.
But you currently don't have access to any good mercenaries at the moment.
All right. That'd be my turn.
And you can't say dwarven mercenaries because you already are paying them in the form of your army.
Yeah.
So does my traveling take my action or no?
It will kind of, because you're going to be rolling to negotiate a trade agreement here soon.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yep.
We had Ivy go. We had Nolgrim go.
Mhm.
Is Freya just doing the same thing? Because she could probably just roll again.
Yep.
Thermal explore. If no one else did this round.
If you haven't chosen somewhere to, we could also just get a more detailed survey of this area here. So in case we wind up giving it away, we don't give away a very valuable asset again.
I mean,
Or are you
is
doing
that a thing?
Yeah.
I would.
mean,
that
I
one.
could-
You actually. Yeah. Because of how I did the thing, you probably actually can't reach there yet. Because if you look at
Yeah.
the tunnels, so.
Yeah, so we have to investigate this area here.
I'll explore there.
Mhm.
Actually, I really want to explore down here. But
For
I'll
now,
get
do they?
All right. So Freya, big news on the Black Iron Army research. It's kind of wishy-washy, not great news. So, according to all the research in Arcane, you have determined that the dwarven souls are still within the metal. However, they appear to be fragmented and not aware of memories or their own consciousness. They just experience suffering. So they're not people in the traditional sense, but they are still in pain, especially when the golem takes pain.
That doesn't sound good.
Okay.
Might be better just to release them at this point, then.
Well, maybe not, because they can also attack living creatures, as we saw.
Yeah, and with
I
that
think
roll
of
as
it
well.
at least as taking
Yeah.
it apart.
Yeah, if you destroy the metal, they do not pop out as ghosts that attack people. You're uncertain if destroying the metal does send them to the afterlife or not, but you do know that that will stop passive suffering.
But when they feel the pain while you destroy it, I guess that's worth it for a lifetime of not feeling it.
Well, it's like pushing a dislocated limb back into their socket. It hurts like a son of a bitch, but it needs to be done. You know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, if anything can.
I mean, you can try with one and see what happens. Try and contact it.
Well,
See where it went.
I would share that information with the others that I figure out how to actually destroy it.
Yes, you do know how to do that. That same elemental process that Fergus discovered that you used to defeat Bendrak can be applied on an industrial scale. It'll take time, of course, to start trying to destroy the army of thousands of golems. But you 100% have the facility to begin mass destruction of them.
Yeah. Put this completely differently in character, but if anything can jigsaw a soul back together, it would have to be a god.
Mm-hmm.
So, if it does send him to the afterlife, then that process can begin over there.
Now I just picture Father Mountain or something, just like with a jigsaw puzzle of a soul, being like, "This is just my hobby now."
Is this?
I haven't gotten to come down to my workbench in ages.
Who mixed my dwarf?
Haskell, can you think of any way we could potentially utilize this to unify the temples towards just a common cause and try to get them from bickering with each other.
They are all aware of the issue going on.
Yeah,
right.
that's-
But this discovery is the new one that could change their outlook on it.
It would have to be broached to the ancestors first, as it's their realm primarily, but I can't imagine them not wanting to help.
They may be the domain of the ancestors, but they are our family of everybody.
Mm-hmm. No, it's definitely a thing to bring up in another little religious council thing.
Mm.
And while I have not acted yet this season, I imagine this is end of season news.
Yes, this is end of season news.
Oh, I've got to search real quick.
Oh, yeah, are you searching north or are you searching this blob down here?
North.
Gotcha.
That,
Right here.
Yep.
He really wants that blob, but that's beside the
Do want that blob.
There is more tunnels exiting here, this one as well, also to the north here. So it's just difficult to show on how I did the spacings.
Mm.
But hey, more areas.
At least you know how to get to here now.
Mm-hmm. This is true.
So the guy who was making the map, see, I told you there was a cavern here.
So does this count as explored, or do we still need to explore it?
You can do a non-rolled action survey of it.
Okay.
So for the sake of like verbiage clarity, exploring would be revealing the gray, the fog of war. Survey would just be like, let's see if there's a mine here. You
Okay.
know?
Honestly, the more I think about it, like even though we did miss out on the adamantine vein, I did choose perfectly to let the shield brew have
Yeah.
that spot
Oh, yeah.
because
Well,
They were the
technically
most
they
used-
chose perfectly.
they chose. But like
Yeah.
if we had discovered more territory, we could have like
Yeah.
promised them this one
That's
or
true.
this one.
That's true. Yeah.
Plus, we don't know what's in there yet either.
Yeah, we'll probably do survey soon.
So, given Fergus is going to start opening up trade relations with the surrounding nations, I was thinking of working with the budget dude to try and scale up production of trade goods and the like.
Lower
Alright.
our budget.
So is this trying to reduce economic stress or create a temporary asset of like built up economic resources?
I was hoping to maybe upgrade our commerce dice, but I'm not sure if I'd be able to do that the whole way.
Yeah, that's going to be a big ask.
Yeah, we may want to just focus on
Getting rid of
foreign assets
stresses.
of some kind. Yeah,
You can
I
get
think
a
the
stress,
stresses goes
or
to be helpful.
you can create, because I will let you guys know that you can say that your goal is to intentionally create a temporary asset, and that will be much easier than creating a permanent one.
Okay.
So for
So
like
yeah, I
example,
guess.
yeah, go ahead.
I guess for this one, the cache of, surplus trade goods for when we do get the roads opened.
Yeah, you're just like creating a nice little stockpile of trade goods. Yeah, I could see that. So that would probably be a commerce.
It'll be dwarven population since
Yeah,
it's
dwarven
kind of
population.
all
Probably the Adventurers Guild. You've been having them loot everything that hasn't been nailed down.
That's, I was also thinking the various industry assets I've built up, but
You may want to check to see if the Adventurers Guild has found anything about the tower, just because, there's a magical tower somewhere. People are going to be checking it out.
But yeah, I see your argument about industry there, Kenneth. Yeah, you can use industry instead of commerce.
I was thinking Mountain Forge Fame. when I was saying
yeah.
industrial assets.
Oh yeah.
Commerce, yeah. I mean, we're trying to work out what we'll sell and bring in money, as opposed to what we can mass produce / produce well.
Mhm.
So, and Mountain Temple. All right. Well, 6 dice to create a temporary asset. Let's go.
All right.
So let's see. I'm a 10. Fortune is an 8.
So I'll
Nice.
I'll let you guys know this up at front. So it's going to be 2d6 difficulty plus a d4 for economic stress, is economics. You can choose 2 effect dice here, Kenneth. One of them will be the size of the temporary asset, and the other one will be how many uses it has. So, for example, if you choose a D8, that would be a D8 sized, or if you choose that one as how long, it'll be 3 uses.
So basically, if you use Dwarven Population Adventurer Guild for a total of 13, you could use your D10 as the resource.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're getting strategic.
Yep.
Strategery.
And
So you've tilted the hand to say the highest it could be is a 12 for incentivizing us.
I'm basing this off of a base of a pre-existing TTRPG, and they say the game master is supposed to tell you what dice I'm going to roll before I roll it. It's part of the strategy. So,
and that is a 12 exact with the Pop and Adventure Guild. So yeah, I guess we'll make the size a D10, and looks like everything else is a D6.
Okay.
Oh, no, the Forge Train's a D8. So,
all right. Yep.
So do I roll a D8 for the uses, or?
No, it's because if a D4 is 1 use, a D6
So
is
it's
going to be
size category steps. Okay.
Yeah. So let me just quickly create this asset for you. So it's a D10. And then it's got 3 uses. Boom. Just like that.
nice. That's helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I like how that's kind of the kingdom equivalent of an aid action.
Yep. Fergus negotiating this trade deal with Corsiconia is going to be very similar, except rather than how many uses, it'll be how many seasons it lasts for.
Okay.
So why don't we, Richard, just do the roll for that trade deal now before we do any role play stuff? Because I'll spoil it for you. These guys are absolutely willing to cut a trade deal.
Well, I mean, yeah, they'd be the #1 access to dwarven goods in the entire world right now.
Mm-hmm.
Plus,
you could say it would be the best trade deal in the history of trade deals.
Plus, they're the most friendly country we know of with gunpowder. So.
Yep.
Okay, so that's me. Commerce. Is there anything else that you can roll in here?
Admittedly, at present, it's only 2 countries we know of with gunpowder, but one of them's the Drow, so by default.
We did already roll for this. I'm not sure what else. This is just like determining. Because I only have 2 dice to use.
This is determining how beneficial the trade deal is going to be for you. Bare minimum, you're going to get a D4 temporary asset.
Could we?
It's just if I only have 2 dice, I don't really have anything to.
So this might be a stretch, but as we mentioned, they'd have access to the crux of dwarven goods and stuff like that. Could we use dwarven population, or would that be?
You could use dwarven population, and you could use Shale Brew because they do have access to Adamantine currently.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to.
And the Forge Fane because that's where you build shit.
Yep.
Okay. I always
just
forget what
just
the fourth
just
thing
just
was.
flaunting all stuff we have.
Yeah, exactly.
Flaunting our economic might.
Because their dice pool is going to be a little bit different because I'm using their own kingdom assets here.
Those are some bad rolls.
And you got a 10. That's not the worst.
Yeah, so the 4
Depends
and the
on what
6
they're
are
rolling
10.
against us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm rolling a d6, a d12, and a d10.
Knowing his rolls, they're going to be high.
Yep.
12.
Yeah. I was wondering if there was
Nice.
going to be a 10 there.
Last one hadn't spiked.
Yeah, if the last one hadn't spiked. So it's your choice, Richard, if you wish to just make a less than beneficial trade deal, or you can have this be ongoing negotiations that'll stretch into another season where we can do another roll to try to get better terms.
There's no point in negotiating with these polygamous barbarians. They're going to be trying to trade you their wives and all sorts of other nonsense.
I suppose the question is, how bad are the terms right now?
It'll be a D4 asset that'll last a single season before it needs to be renegotiated.
No, not worth. Not worth.
Yeah, I feel like I should just press on.
Yeah.
So I basically send a message being like, y'all can handle shit while I'm gone.
So
Yeah.
now, out of curiosity,
Mhm.
if we sent him with just a dwarven brick, would he be able to teleport to and from Dammerhall?
It has to be an established build.
Okay,
Yes.
that
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay, like that'd be funny if that was.
Nah,
a new
I had the
But
same
I
thought.
figured
Like, that
that'd
would
be
be
a
great,
stretch.
but he wrote it into there. He knew what I was going to do before
Yeah.
I even thought about it.
Yeah, I
Good
copy
call.
pasted that directly from the pre-existing item.
I gotcha.
Okay. So we are at our normal stopping time if you guys want to call it
I
here.
mean, this is a perfect stopping time. We just
Yeah.
finished the season, so.
Yep. I'm going to have a role play scene with Richard at the top of next time.
I'm not sure if it will affect the roleplay scenes or not, but I am going to be basically, since I'm in Corsiconia, I'm going to be sending letters to people.
Mhm.
And I'll probably just message you privately about the gist of what they say to people.
Sure.